One is always nervous. Oh, hello! Welcome. Oh, you are looking beautiful as two days my best ears. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. I see that you choose the most beautiful gown. Oh, this is a dressmaker. Oh, yes, of course. Do you have something? Thank you so much. Oh, hello, Mabel, darling. Good evening. How are you doing? I am frazzled. This is a bit of a, a big mammoth of a task with a lot of time, I'm completely honest. Mr. Mandrag. This is the Viscount. Mandrag. He is French. Very French. I would just want to welcome you all to my house and my party this evening. Thank you for coming. Just to make sure that everybody knows where the fire exits are. Yes. We have one at the back. Over there. See it? Yes. We have one here at the front. Also, we will be enjoying this wonderful soiree here called An Ideal Husband by some Oscar Wilde. For approximately 2 hours and 45 minutes, and there is a 15-minute interval, whatever that is. And yes, I would like to make sure that everyone has got their phones on silence. Yes? Everyone? Good. And that if you do take photography, it is without flash. No flash photography. Understood? Understood. Well then, all I have is to welcome you to this wonderful show. Enjoy.
Going on to the heart looks tonight, Olivia. Oh, I suppose so. Are you? Yes. Horribly tedious parties to give, don't they? Horribly tedious. Never know why I go. Never know why I go anywhere. Well, I come here to be educated. Oh, I hate being educated. But so do I. It puts one almost on a level with the commercial classes, doesn't it? But dear graduate Chiltern is always telling me that I should have some serious purpose in life, so I come here to try to find one. Well, I don't see anybody here tonight whom one could possibly call a serious purpose. Oh, the man took me into dinner last night, talked to me about his wife the whole time. How terribly trivial of him. Terribly trivial. And what did your man talk about? About myself. And were you interested? Not in the smallest degree. Oh, what martyrs we are, dear Margaret! And how well it becomes us, Olivia. Lord Caversham!
Good evening, Lady Chiltern. How's my good-for-nothing young son been here?
Oh, I don't think Lord Goring has arrived yet. Why do you call Lord Goring good for nothing?
Because he leads such an idle life.
How can you say such a thing? Why, he rides in the Row at 10 o'clock in the morning, goes to the opera 3 times a week, changes his clothes at least 5 times a day, and dines out every night of the season. You don't call that leading an idle life, do you?
Well, you are a very charming young lady.
How sweet of you to say that. Do come to us more often. You know, we are always at home on Wednesdays, and you look so well with your star.
I'll never go anywhere now. Sick of London society. Shouldn't mind being introduced to my own tailor. He always votes on the right side, but objects strongly to being sent down to dinner with my wife's milliner. Never could stand Lady Caversham's bonnets.
Oh, I love London society. I think it has immensely improved. It is now entirely composed of beautiful idiots and brilliant lunatics. Just what society should be.
Which is Goring? Beautiful idiot or the other thing?
I've been obliged for the present to put Lord Goring into a class quite by himself, but he is developing charmingly.
Into what?
I hope to let you know very soon, Lord Caversham.
Lady Marksby and Mrs. Cheveley.
Good evening, dear Gertrude. So kind of you to let me bring my dear friend Mrs. Cheveley. Two such charming women should know each other.
Well, of course. I think Mrs. Cheveley and I have met before. I did not know she had married a second time.
Nowadays, people marry as often as they can, don't they? It's most fashionable. Lady Basildon! How is the Lord? Brain still weak, I suppose? Well, it is only to be expected. His good father was just the same. There's nothing like family, is there?
Indeed. But have we really met before, Lady Chiltern? I can't remember where. I've been out of England for so long now.
We were at school together, Mrs. Cheveley.
Really? I have completely forgotten about my school days. I have a vague impression they were detestable.
I'm not surprised.
Do you know, I'm quite looking forward to meeting your clever husband, Lady Chiltern. Since he's been at the Foreign Office, he's been so much talked of. He actually succeeded in spelling his name right in the newspapers. That in itself is fame on the continent.
I don't think my husband will have anything to do with you, Mrs. Cheveley.
Quelle surprise, madame. I have not seen you since Berlin. Not since Berlin. We called 5 years ago.
And you are younger and more beautiful than ever. How do you manage it?
By making it a rule only to talk to perfectly charming people like yourself.
You flatter me. You butter me, as they say here.
Do they say that here? How detestable.
Ah, yes, they have such a wonderful language here. It should be more widely known.
Ah, good evening, Lady Markby. I hope you brought Sir John with you.
I brought a much more interesting person than Sir John with me. Sir John's temper, since he has taken seriously to politics, has become quite unbearable. Really, now that this House of Commons is trying to do good, well, they're doing quite a lot of harm.
I hope not, Lady Markby. At any rate, we do our best to waste the public time, don't we? But who is this charming person you've been so kind enough as to bring to us?
Well, her name is Mrs. Cheveley, one of the Dorsetshire Cheveleys, I suppose. But I really don't know. Families are so mixed nowadays. Really, as a rule, everybody turns out to be somebody else.
Mrs. Cheveley, I seem to know the name.
She's just arrived from Vienna.
Ah, I think I know whom you mean.
Oh, she goes everywhere there, and has such pleasant scandals about all her friends. I really must go to Vienna next winter. I hope there's a good chef at the embassy.
If there's not, then the ambassador will certainly have to be recalled. Pray, point out Mrs. Cheveley to me. I should like to know her.
Let me introduce you. My dear, Sir Robert Chiltern is dying to know you.
Oh, well, everyone is dying to know the brilliant Mrs. Cheveley. Our attaché is at Vienna, right? For some nothing else.
Thank you, Sir Robert. An acquaintance that begins with a compliment is sure to develop into a real friendship. It starts in the right manner. And I find I know Lady Chiltern already.
Really?
Yes, she has just reminded me we were at school together. I remember it perfectly now. She always got the Good Conduct Prize. I have a distinct recollection of Lady Chiltern always getting the Good Conduct Prize.
And what prizes did you get, Mrs. Cheveley?
My prizes came a little later in life, and I don't think any of them were for good conduct. I forget.
I am sure they were for something charming.
I don't think women are usually rewarded for being charming. I think they are usually punished for it. Certainly more women grow old nowadays through faithfulness admirers than through anything else. At least, that is the only way I can account for the terribly haggard look of most of your pretty women in London.
What an appalling philosophy that sounds. To attempt to classify you, Mrs. Cheveley, would be an impertinence. But may I ask, at heart, are you an optimist or a pessimist? Those seem to be the only two fashionable religions left to us nowadays.
Oh, neither. Optimism always begins with a broad grin, and pessimism ends with blue spectacles. Besides, both of them are merely poses.
You prefer to be natural?
Ah, sometimes. But it is such a very difficult pose to keep up.
And what would those modern psychological novelists, of whom we hear so much, say to such a theory as that?
Ah, the strength of women is the fact that psychology can never explain us. Men can be analysed. Women are merely adored.
You think science cannot grapple with the problem of women?
Science can never grapple with the irrational. That is why it has no future before it in this world.
And women represent the irrational?
Well-dressed women do.
I fear I could hardly agree with you there, but do sit down. And now tell me, what makes you leave your brilliant Vienna for our gloomy London? Or perhaps the question is indiscreet.
Questions are never indiscreet. Answers sometimes are.
Well, at any rate, may I know if it is politics or pleasure?
Politics are my only pleasure. You see, nowadays it is not fashionable to flirt till one is 40 or to be romantic till one is 45. So we poor women who are under 30, or who say we are, have nothing open to us but politics or philanthropy. And philanthropy seems to me to have simply become the refuge of people who wish to annoy their fellow creatures. I prefer politics. They are more becoming.
Ah, political life is a noble career.
Sometimes. And sometimes it is a clever game, Sir Robert. And sometimes a great nuisance.
Which do you find it?
I? A combination of all three.
Oh, allow me.
Thanks.
But you've still not told me what makes you honor London so suddenly. Our season's almost over.
Oh, I don't care about the London season. It is so matrimonial. Everyone is either hunting for husbands or hiding from them. I wanted to meet you. Yes, it is quite true. You know what a woman's curiosity is. Almost as great as a man's. I wanted immensely to meet you and to ask you to do something for me.
Oh, well, I hope it's not a little thing, Mrs. Cheveley. I find that little things are so very hard to do.
No, I don't think it is quite a little thing.
Ah, I am so glad. Do tell me what it is.
Later on. And now may I walk about your beautiful house? I hear your pictures are charming. Poor Baron Arnheim. You remember the Baron? He used to tell me of some wonderful Perraults.
Did you know Baron Arnheim well?
Intimately. Did you?
Ah, at one time.
Wonderful man, wasn't he?
Yes, he was very remarkable in many ways.
I often think it's such a pity they never wrote his memoirs. They would have been a great success.
Oh, yes. He knew men and cities well, like the old Greek.
Without the dreadful disadvantage of having a Penelope waiting at home for him.
Lord Goring!
Oh, good evening, my dear Arthur. Mrs. Cheveley, allow me to introduce to you Lord Goring, the idlest man in London.
I have met Lord Goring before.
Oh, I did not think you would remember me, Mrs. Cheveley.
My memory is under admirable control. Are you still a bachelor?
I believe so.
How very romantic.
Oh, I am not at all romantic. I am not old enough. I leave romance to my seniors.
Yes, well, Lord Goring is the result of Boodle's Club, Mrs. Cheveley.
He reflects every credit on that institution.
Yes.
May I ask, are you staying in London long?
Oh, that depends. Partly on the weather, partly on the cooking, and partly on Sir Robert.
You're not going to plunge us into a European war, I hope.
There is no danger at present.
You are very late.
Have you missed me?
Awfully.
Then I am sorry I did not stay away longer. I like being missed.
How very selfish of you.
I am very selfish.
You are always telling me of your bad qualities, Lord Goring.
I have only told you half them as yet, Miss Mabel.
Are the others very bad?
Quite dreadful. When I think of them at night, I go to sleep at once.
Well, I delight in your bad qualities. I wouldn't have you part with one of them.
How very nice. But then you are always nice. By the way, I want to ask you a question, Miss Mabel. Who brought Mrs. Cheveley here? That woman in scarlet who's just gone out of the room with your brother.
I think Lady Markby brought her. Why do you ask?
I haven't seen her for years, that's all.
What an absurd reason.
All reasons are absurd.
Well, what sort of a woman is she?
Oh, a genius in the daytime and a beauty at night.
I dislike her already.
That shows your admirable good taste.
Ah, yes, the English young lady is quite the dragon of good taste. Is she not quite the dragon of good taste?
So the newspapers are always telling us.
Yes, I read all your English newspapers. I find them so amusing.
Then, my dear Nanjak, you must certainly read between the lines.
I should like to, but my professor objects. May I do you the honor of taking you to the music room, mademoiselle?
Delighted, Vicomte. Quite delighted. Aren't you coming to the music room?
Not if there is any music going on, Miss Mabel.
The music is in German. You would not understand it.
Well, sir, what are you doing here? Wasting your life as usual. You should be in bed, sir. You keep too late hours. I heard of you the other night at Lady Rufford's dancing till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Only 4:45, Father.
Just make out how you stand, London society. The thing has gone to the dogs. Oh, lot of damn nobody's talking about nothing.
I love talking about nothing, Father. It is the only thing I know anything about.
You seem to me to be living entirely for pleasure.
What else is there to live for, Father? Nothing ages like happiness.
You are heartless, sir. Very heartless.
I hope not, Father. Good evening, Lady Basildon.
Oh, are you here? I had no idea you ever came to political parties.
I adore political parties. They are the only place left to us where people don't talk politics.
Oh, but I delight talking in politics. I talk them all day long. But I can't bear listening to them. I don't know how the unfortunate men in the House consent these long debates.
By never listening.
Really?
Of course. You see, it's a very dangerous thing to listen. If one listens, then one may be convinced. And a man who allows himself to be convinced by an argument is a thoroughly unreasonable person.
That accounts for so much in men that they've never understood, and so much in women that their husbands never appreciate in them.
Our husbands never appreciate anything in us. We have to go to others for that.
Yes, always to others, have we not?
And those are the views of the two ladies who are known to have the most admirable husbands in London.
Well, that is exactly what we can't stand. My Reginald is quite hopelessly faultless. He's really unendurably so at times. There's not the smallest element of excitement in knowing him.
How terrible. Really, the thing should be more widely known.
Oh, but Basildon's quite as bad. He's as domestic as if he were a bachelor.
Oh, my poor Olivia. We've married perfect husbands and we are well punished for it.
I should have thought it was the husbands who were punished.
Oh dear, no. They're as happy as possible. And as for trusting us, it is tragic how much they trust us.
Perfectly tragic.
Or comic, Lady Basildon.
Certainly not comic, Lord Goring. How unkind of you to suggest such a thing.
I see Lord Goring is in the camp of the enemy, as usual. I saw him talking to that Mrs. Cheveley when he came in.
Handsome woman, Mrs. Cheveley.
Please don't praise other women in our presence. You might wait for us to do that.
I did wait.
Well, we are not going to praise her. I hear she went to the opera on Monday night and told Tom Trafford and suffered that, as far as she could see, London society was entirely made up of dowdies and dandies.
She is quite right, too. The men are all dowdies and the women are all dandies, aren't they?
Do you really think that is what Mrs. Cheveley meant?
Of course, and a very sensible remark for Mrs. Cheveley to make, too.
Why are we talking about Mrs. Cheveley? Everybody's talking about Mrs. Cheveley. Lord Goring says... What was it he said, Lord Goring, about Mrs. Cheveley? Oh, I remember. That she was a genius in the daytime and a beauty at night.
What a horrid combination. So very unnatural.
I like looking at geniuses and listening to beautiful people.
Ah, that is morbid of you, Mrs. Marchmont.
I'm glad I am to hear you say that. Marchman and I have been married for 7 years, and there's never once told me I was morbid. Men are so painful and observant.
Oh, but as I've always said, dear Margaret, you're the most morbid person in the entirety of London.
But you were always sympathetic, Olivia.
Is it morbid to have a desire for food? I have a great desire for food. Lord Goring, will you fetch me some supper?
With pleasure, Miss Mabel.
How horrid you have been. You have never talked to me this whole evening.
How could I? You went away with a child diplomatist.
You might have followed us. Pursuit would have only been polite. I don't think I like you at all this evening.
I like you immensely.
Well, I wish you'd show it in a more marked way.
Olivia, I have a curious feeling of absolute faintness. I think I should like some supper very much. I know I should like some supper.
I'm positively dying for supper, Margaret.
Well, men are so horribly selfish. They never think of these things.
Men are grossly material. Grossly material. May I have the honour of taking you to supper, Comtesse? I never take supper, thank you. I'll come down with you, with pleasure. Yes, I'm very fond of eating. I'm very English in all my tastes. Oh, you are quite English, Vicomte. Quite English.
Like some supper, Mrs. Marchmont?
Why, thank you, Mr. Montford. I never touch supper. But I will sit beside you and watch you.
I'm not sure I would like to be watched while eating.
Well, then I will watch someone else.
I'm not sure I would like that either.
There, Mr. Montford, do not make these painful things of jealousy in public.
Are you going to visit any of our country houses before you leave England, Mrs. Cheveley?
Oh no, I can't stand your English house parties. In England, people actually try to be brilliant at breakfast. That is so dreadful of them. Only dull people are brilliant at breakfast. And then the family skeleton is always reading family prayers. No, my stay in England really depends on you.
Seriously?
Quite seriously. I want to talk to you about a great political and financial scheme. About this Argentine Canal Company, in fact.
What a tedious and sad, practical subject for you to talk about, Mrs. Cheveley.
I like tedious, practical subjects. What I don't like are tedious, practical people. There is a wide difference. Besides, you are interested, I know, in international canal schemes. You were Lord Radley's secretary, weren't you, when the government bought the Suez Canal shares?
Yes, but the Suez Canal was a very grand and splendid undertaking. It gave us a direct route to India. It had imperial value. It was necessary that we should have control. This Argentine scheme is nothing but a commonplace stock exchange swindle.
A speculation, Sir Robert. A brilliant, daring speculation.
Believe me, Mrs. Cheveley, it is a swindle. Let us call things by their proper names. Besides, we have all the information about it at the Foreign Office. In fact, I sent out a special commission to investigate into the matter privately, and they report that the work has hardly begun, and as for the money already subscribed, no one seems to know what has become of it. It's all a second Panama, with not a quarter of a chance of success that miserable affair ever had. I hope you've not invested in it. I am sure you are far too clever to have done that.
I've invested very largely in it.
Who could have advised you to do such a foolish thing?
Baron Arnheim.
Ah, yes. I remember hearing at the time of his death that he'd been mixed up in the whole affair.
It was his last romance. His last but one to do him justice.
Yes, well, but you have not seen my Corrots yet. They are in the music room. Corrots seem to go with music. May I show them to you?
I'm not in the mood tonight for silver twilights or rose-pink dawns. I want to talk business.
I fear the only piece of advice I can give you, Mrs. Cheveley, is to interest yourself in something less dangerous. The success of the canal depends, of course, on the attitude of England. And I'm going to lay the report before the House tomorrow night.
You must not do that. In your own interest, Sir Robert, to say nothing of mine, that you must not do.
In my own interest? My dear Mrs. Cheveley, what do you mean?
My dear Sir Robert, I will be quite frank with you. I want you to withdraw the report you had intended to lay before the House on the grounds that you have reasons to believe that the commissioners have been prejudiced or misinformed or something. Then I want you to say a few words to the effect that the government is going to reconsider the question and that you have reason to believe that the canal, if completed, will be of great international value. You know the sort of words ministers use in cases of this kind. A few ordinary platitudes will do. In modern life, nothing produces such an effect as a good platitude. It makes the whole world kin. Will you do that for me?
You cannot be serious in making me such a proposition.
I am quite serious.
Pray allow me to believe that you are not.
Ah, but I am. And if you do that for me, I will pay you handsomely.
Pay me?
Yes.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
How very disappointing. And I've come all the way from Vienna in order that you should thoroughly understand me.
I fear I don't.
My dear Sir Robert, you are a man of the world and you have your price, I suppose. Everybody has nowadays. The drawback is most people are so dreadfully expensive. I know I am. I hope you'll be more reasonable in your terms.
Mrs. Cheveley, if you will allow me, I will call your carriage for you. It seems you have lived so long abroad that you are unable to realize you are talking to an English gentleman.
I realize that I am talking to a man who laid the foundation for his fortune by selling to a stock exchange speculator a cabinet secret.
What do you mean?
I mean that I know the real origin of your wealth and position. And I've got your letter too.
What letter?
The letter you wrote to Baron Arheim when you were Lord Radley's secretary, telling the Baron to buy Suez Canal shares. A letter written 3 days before the government announced its own purchase.
It is not true.
You thought that letter was destroyed. How foolish of you. It is in my possession.
The affair to which you allude was no more than a speculation. The House of Commons had not yet passed the bill. It might have been rejected.
It was a swindle, Sir Robert. Let us call things by their proper names. It makes everything so much simpler. And now I am going to sell you that letter. And the price I ask for it is your public support of the Argentine scheme. You made your fortune out of one canal, and you must have me and my friends make our fortunes out of another.
It is infamous what you propose. Infamous!
Oh, no. This is the game of life, Sir Robert, as we all must play it, sooner or later.
I cannot do what you ask me.
You cannot help doing it. You know that you are on the edge of a precipice, and it is not for you to decide the terms, it is for you to agree to them. Supposing you refuse.
What then?
What then? My dear Sir Robert, you are ruined. That is all. Remember to what a point your Puritanism in England has brought you. In old days, nobody pretended to be a bit better than one's neighbour. In fact, to be a bit better than one's neighbour was considered excessively vulgar and middle class. Nowadays, with our modern mania for morality, everyone has to pose as a paragon of purity, incomparability, and all the other 7 deadly virtues. And what is the result? You all go over like ninepins, one after the other. Not a year passes in England without somebody disappearing. Scandal used to lend charm, or at least interest to a man. Now it crushes him. And yours is a very nasty scandal. You couldn't survive it. If it were known that as a young man, secretary to a great and important minister, you sold a cabinet secret for a large sum of money, and that was the origin of your wealth and career, you'd be hounded out of public life. You'd disappear completely. After all, why should you sacrifice your entire future rather than deal diplomatically with your enemy? For the moment, I am your enemy. I admit it. I am stronger than you are. The big battalions are on my side. You have a splendid position, but it is that splendid position that makes you vulnerable. You can't defend it. And I am in attack. Of course, I've not talked morality to you. You must admit, in fairness, I've spared you that. Years ago, you did a clever, unscrupulous thing. It turned out a great success. You owe to it your fortune and position. Now you have got to pay. Sooner or later, we've all got to pay for what we do. You have got to pay now. Before I leave here tonight, I want you to promise me to suppress the report and speak in the House in favour of this scheme.
What you ask is impossible.
You must make it possible. You are going to make it possible. You know what your English newspapers are like. Suppose when I leave here tonight, I drive down to some local newspaper office and give them this scandal and the proofs of it. Imagine their loathsome joy. Imagine the delight they would have in dragging you down, the mud and mire they would plunge you in. Think of the hypocrite with his greasy smile, penning his leading article and arranging the foul as a public placard.
Stop! You want me to withdraw the report and to make a short speech stating that I believe there are possibilities in the scheme.
Those are my terms.
I will give you any sum of money you want.
Even you, Sir Robert, are not rich enough to buy back your past. No man is.
I will not do what you ask me. I will not.
You have to. If you don't...
Wait a moment. What was it you proposed? You said you'd give me back my letter, didn't you?
Yes, that is agreed. I will be in the ladies' gallery tomorrow night at 11:30. If by that time, and you will have had heaps of opportunity, you have made a speech in the House in the terms I wish, I will give you back your letter with the prettiest thanks and the best, almost suitable compliment I can think of. I intend to play quite fairly by you. One should always play fairly when one is winning cards. That is something Baron Arnheim taught me, amongst other things.
You must let me have more time to consider your proposal.
No, you have to settle now.
Give me a week, 3 days.
Impossible. I have got to telegraph to Vienna tonight.
My God, what brought you into my life?
Circumstance.
Don't go. I consent. The report shall be withdrawn. I will arrange for a question to be put to me on the subject.
Thank you. I knew we should come to an amicable agreement. I understood your nature from the first. I analysed you, though you did not adore me. And now you may go and get my carriage. I see people coming up from dinner, and the Englishman is always so romantic after a meal, and that bores me dreadfully.
Well, dear Mrs. Cheveley, I hope you've enjoyed yourself this evening. Sir Robert is very entertaining, is he not?
Most entertaining. I've enjoyed my talk with him immensely.
Well, he has married a most admirable wife. Lady Chiltern is a woman of the very highest principles, I'm glad to say. I'm a little too old now myself to trouble about setting a good example, but I always admire people who do. And Lady Chiltern has a very ennobling effect on life, wouldn't you say? Though her dinner parties are rather dull sometimes, but one can't have everything, can one? And now, dear, I must go. Shall I call for you tomorrow?
Thanks.
We might drive in the park at 5. Everything looks so fresh in the park now.
Except the people.
Yes, perhaps the people are a little jaded. I've often observed that as the season goes on, it produces a kind of softening of the brain. However, I think anything is better than high intellectual pressure. It makes the noses of the young girls so particularly large. And there is nothing so difficult to marry as a large nose. The men don't like them. Good night, dear. Good night, Gertrude.
What a charming house you have, Lady Chiltern. I have spent a delightful evening here. It has been so interesting getting to know your husband.
Why did you wish to meet my husband, Mrs. Cheveley?
Oh, I will tell you. I wanted to interest him in this Argentine canal scheme of which I dare say you've heard. And I found him most susceptible. Oh, susceptible to reason, I mean. A rare thing in a man. I converted him in 10 minutes. He's going to make a speech in the House tomorrow night in favour of the idea. We must go to the ladies' gallery and hear him. It will be a great occasion.
There must be some mistake. That scheme could never have my husband's support.
Oh, I assure you it is all settled. I don't regret my tedious journey from Vienna now at all. It has been a great success. Oh, but of course, for the next 24 hours, the whole thing is a dead secret.
A secret? Between whom?
Your husband and myself.
Your carriage is here, Mrs. Cheveley.
Thanks. Good evening, Lady Chiltern. Good night, Lord Goring. I'm at Claridge's. Don't you think you might leave a card?
If you wish it, Mrs. Cheveley.
Oh, don't be so solemn. I should be obliged to leave a card on you. Though I suppose in England that is hardly considered en règle. Abroad we are more civilized. Will you see me down, Sir Robert? Now that we have the same interest at heart, we will be great friends, I hope.
What a horrid woman.
You should go to bed, Miss Mabel.
Lord Goring.
My father told me to go to bed an hour ago, so I don't see why I shouldn't pass on the same advice to you. I always pass on good advice. It is the only thing to do with it. It is never of any use to oneself.
Lord Goring, you are always ordering me out of the room. I find it most courageous, especially as I am not going to bed for hours. You can come and sit down if you'd like, and talk about anything in the world except the Royal Academy, Mrs. Cheveley, and novels in the Scotch dialect. They are not my people's subject. What's this? Someone has dropped a diamond brooch. Quite beautiful, isn't it? I wish it were mine, but Gertrude won't let me wear anything but pearls, and I'm thoroughly sick of pearls. They make one look so good, so plain, so intellectual. I wonder whom it belongs to.
I wonder who dropped it.
It's a beautiful brooch.
It is a handsome bracelet.
It's not a bracelet, it's a brooch.
It can be used as a bracelet.
What are you doing?
Miss Mabel, I'm going to make a rather strange request to you.
Please do. I've been waiting for it all the evening.
Do not tell anyone that I have taken charge of this brooch. Should anybody write and claim it, let me know at once.
That is a strange request.
Well, you see, I gave this brooch to someone once, years ago.
You did?
Yes.
Then I shall certainly bid you good night. Good night, Gertrude.
Good night, dear. You saw whom Lady Markby brought here tonight.
Yes, it was an unpleasant surprise. What did she come here for?
Apparently to try to lure Robert to uphold this scheme she is interested in. The Argentine Canal, in fact.
She's mistaken her man, hasn't she?
That woman would not recognize an upright nature like my husband's.
Yes, I should fancy she came to grief if she tried to get Robert into her toils. It is extraordinary what astounding mistakes clever women make.
I don't call women of that kind clever, I call them stupid.
Same thing, often. Good night, Lady Chiltern.
Oh,
Good night.
Arthur, you're not going. Do stop a little.
Afraid I can't, thanks. I promised looking at the Heartlocks. I believe they've got a mauve Hungarian band that plays mauve Hungarian music. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
How beautiful you look tonight, Gertrude.
Robert, you're not going to support that Argentine Canal scheme, are you? You couldn't.
Who told you I intended to do so?
That woman who has just gone out. Mrs. Cheveley, as she now calls herself. She seemed to taunt me with it. Robert, I know this woman. You don't. We were at school together. She was an untruthful, dishonest, and evil influence on anyone whose friendship or trust she could gain. She stole things. She was a thief. She was sent away for being a thief. Why did you let her influence you?
Gertrude, what you tell me may be true, but it happened many years ago. It is best forgotten. Mrs. Cheveley may have changed since then. One should not be entirely judged by their past.
One's past is what one is. It is the only way by which people should be judged.
Oh, that is a hard saying, Gertrude.
It is a true saying, Robert. And besides, what did she mean by boasting that she had got you to lend your support, your name, to a thing I have heard you describe as the most fraudulent, dishonest scheme there has ever been in political life?
I was mistaken in the view I took. We all may make mistakes.
But you told me yesterday that you had received the report from the Commission and that it entirely condemned the whole thing.
I have reasons now to believe that the Commission was prejudiced, or at any rate misinformed. Besides, Gertrude, public and private life are different things. They have different laws and they move on different lines.
They should both represent man at his highest. I see no difference between them.
Well, on a matter of practical politics, I've changed my mind. That is all.
Or...
Yes!
Robert. Oh, it is horrible that I should have to ask you such a question, but are you telling me the whole truth?
Why do you ask me such a question?
Well,
Why do you not answer it?
Well, Gertrude, truth is a very complex thing. And politics is a very complex business. There are wheels within wheels. One may be under certain obligations, to others one must pay. Sooner or later in political life, one must compromise. Everyone does.
Compromise? Oh, Robert, why do you speak so differently tonight from the way I have always heard you talk? Why are you changed?
I am not changed, but circumstances alter things.
Circumstances should never alter principles.
But what if I told you
What?
that it was necessary, vitally necessary?
It can never be necessary to do what is not honourable. And if it is, then what is it that I have loved? But it is not, Robert, it is not. Tell me it is not. What gain would you get? Money? We have no need of that. And money that comes from a tainted source is a degradation. Power. But power is nothing in itself. It is power to do good, that is fine. That and that only. Oh, tell me, Robert, why are you going to do this dishonourable thing?
Gertrude, you have no right to use that word. I told you, it was a question of rational compromise. It is no more than that.
That is all very well for other men, Robert. For men who treat life simply as a sordid speculation, but not for you, Robert. Not for you. All your life you have stood apart from others. You have never let the world soil you. You have been an ideal always. Oh, be that ideal still. That great inheritance thrown not away, that ivory tower do not destroy. Robert, men can love what is beneath them. Things unworthy, stained, dishonoured. We women worship when we love. And when we lose our worship, we lose everything. Don't kill my love. Don't kill that.
Gertrude.
No, I know that there are men who have some terrible secrets in their life, who have committed some act of shame, and who later on in life may have to pay for it by committing some other act of shame. Oh, tell me you are not such as they are, Robert. Is there in your life any secret disgrace or dishonour that I should know about? Tell me that there isn't that...
That what?
That our lives may drift apart.
Drift apart?
That they may be entirely separate. It would be better for us both.
Gertrude, there's nothing in my past life that you might not know.
Oh, I was sure of it, Robert. I was sure of it. Why do you speak so differently tonight? Why do you say them such dreadful things? Things so unlike your real self. Oh. We will never speak of the matter ever again. You will write, won't you, to Mrs. Cheveley? And tell her that you will not support this scheme of hers? Whatever promise you have given her, you must withdraw. You understand this?
Must I write and tell her that?
Surely, Robert, what else is there to do?
I might see her personally. It would be better.
No! You must never see that woman again. She is not worthy of talking to a man like you. No, you must write to her. Now, this moment. You must write to her and let her know that your decision is quite irrevocable.
Right this moment?
Right this moment.
But it is so late. It is close on 12.
That makes no matter.
Oh.
She must know that you are not a man to do anything base or underhand. Right here. Go. Write that you will not support this scheme of hers, as you consider it to be a dishonest scheme. Yes. Use that word. She knows the meaning of it. Right. Now, the envelope, of course. This one shall do. Mason, have this letter sent to the Claridge's Hotel. There is no answer. Robert, love gives one an instinct to these things. I feel as if I have saved you from something that might have been a danger to yourself, from something that might have made men honour you less than they already do. Robert, I don't think you realise sufficiently that you have brought into the political life of our times a broader, a higher perspective and just pure time of nobler air and purer ideals. And for this, I love you, Robert.
Oh, love me always, Gertrude, love me always.
I will always love you, because you will always be worthy of love. We needs must love the highest when we see it.
Oh, put out the lights, Mason, put out the lights.
My dear Robert, it's a very awkward business, very awkward indeed. You should have told your wife the whole thing. Secrets from other people's wives are a necessary luxury in modern life. So at least I'm always told at the club by people who are bald enough to know better. But no man should have a secret from his own wife. She invariably finds it out. Women have a wonderful instinct about things. They can discover everything, except the obvious.
Arthur, I couldn't tell my wife. When could I have told her? Not last night. It would have put a lifelong separation between us, and I would have lost the love of the one woman in the world I worship. No, last night it would have been quite impossible. She would have turned from me in horror and in contempt.
Is Lady Chiltern as perfect as all that?
Yes, my wife is as perfect as all that.
What a pity. I beg your pardon, my dear fellow. I didn't quite mean that. But if what you tell me is true, I should like to have a serious talk about life with Lady Chiltern.
It would be quite useless.
May I try?
Yes, but nothing could make her alter her views.
Well, at the worst, it would simply be a psychological experiment.
Oh, such experiments are terribly dangerous.
Everything is dangerous, my dear fellow. If it wasn't so, life wouldn't be worth living. Well, I am bound to say I think you should have told her years ago.
When? When we were engaged? Do you think she would have married me if she'd known that the origin of my fortune is such as it is? That the basis of my career is such as it is? And that I had done a thing that I suppose most men would consider shameful and dishonourable?
Yes, most men would call it ugly names. There is no doubt of that.
Men who every day do something of the same kind themselves. Men who each one of them have worse secrets in their own lives.
That is precisely the reason they are so pleased to find out other people's secrets. It distracts public attention from their own.
And after all, whom did I wrong by what I did? No one!
Except yourself, Robert.
Of course, I had private information about a transaction contemplated by the government of the day, and I acted upon it. Private information is practically the source of every modern fortune.
And public scandal invariably the result.
Arthur, do you think that what I did nearly 18 years ago should be held against me now? Do you think it fair that a man's whole career should be ruined for a fault done in one's boyhood almost? I was 22 at the time, and I had the double misfortune of being well-born and poor. Two unforgivable things nowadays. Is it fair, Arthur, that the sin of one's youth, if men choose to call it a sin, should wreck a life like mine, should place me in the pillory, should shut all that I worked up for? Is it fair, Arthur?
Life is never fair, Robert, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not.
Every man of ambition has to fight his century with its own weapons. What this century worships is wealth. The god of this century is wealth. To succeed, one must have wealth. At all costs, one must have wealth.
You underrate yourself, Robert. Believe me, without wealth, you could have succeeded just as well.
Oh, when I was old, perhaps. I'd lost my passion for power. I could not use it. I wanted my success when I was young. Youth is the time for success. I couldn't wait.
Well, you've certainly had your success while you are still young. No one in our day has had such a brilliant success. Under-Secretary for Foreign Affairs at the age of 40. That's good enough for anyone, I should think.
If it is all taken away from me now, if I lose everything over a horrible scandal, if I'm hounded from public life.
Robert, how could you have sold yourself for money?
I did not sell myself for money. I simply bought success at a great price.
Yes, you certainly paid a great price for it, but what first made you think of doing such a thing?
Berntsson.
Damned scoundrel.
No, he was a man of a most subtle and refined intellect, a man of culture, charm, and distinction. One of the most intellectual men I ever met.
I prefer a gentlemanly fool any day. There is more to be said for stupidity than people imagine. Personally, I have a great admiration for stupidity. It is a sort of fellow feeling, I suppose. But how did he do it? Tell me the whole thing.
Well, one night, after dinner at Lord Radley's, the Baron began talking about success in modern life as something one could reduce to an absolutely definite science. With that wonderfully fascinating quiet voice of his, he expounded to us the most terrible of all philosophies, the philosophy of power. Preached to us the most marvelous of all gospels, the gospel of gold. I think he saw the effect he had produced on me, for some days later he wrote to me and asked me to come and see him. He was living then in Park Lane in the house Lord Wilkham has now. I remember so well how, with a strange smile on his pale, curved lips, he led me through his wonderful picture gallery, showed me his paintings, his jewels, his enamels, his carved ivories. Made me wonder at the strange loveliness of the luxury he lived in. And then he told me that luxury was nothing but a background, a painted scene in a play, and that power over other men, power over the world, was the one thing worth having, the one joy worth knowing, the one supreme pleasure one never tired of. And in our century, only the wealthy had it.
A thoroughly shallow creed.
I didn't think so then. I don't think so now. Wealth has given me enormous power. It has given me at the outset of my life freedom. And freedom is everything. You have never been poor. You do not know what ambition is. You cannot understand what a wonderful chance the Baron gave me. The chances few men ever get.
Fortunately for them, if one is to judge by results. But tell me definitely, how did the Baron finally persuade you to do what you did?
When I was going away, the Baron told me that if I could ever give him any private information of real value, he would make me a very rich man. I was dazed at the prospect he held out to me, and my ambition and desire for power were at that time boundless. 6 weeks later, certain private documents passed through my hands.
State documents?
Yes.
Robert, I had no idea that you, of all men in the world, could have been so weak, Robert, as to yield to such a temptation as Baron Arnheim held out to you.
Weak? Oh, I'm sick of hearing that phrase, sick of using it about others. Weak? Arthur, do you really think it is weakness that yields to temptation? I tell you, there are certain temptations where it requires strength and courage to yield to stake all one's life on a single moment, to risk it all on one throw, whether the stake be power or pleasure, I care not. There is no weakness in that. There is a horrible, a terrible courage. I had that courage. I sat down the same afternoon and wrote Baron Arnheim the letter this woman now holds. He made $750,000 over the transaction.
And you?
I received from the Baron £110,000.
You were worth more, Robert.
No. That money gave me exactly what I wanted. Power over others. I went to the house immediately. The Baron advised me in finance from time to time. Before 5 years, I'd almost trebled my fortune. In all things connected with money, I've had only success. In all things, I've had a luck so extraordinary that sometimes it has almost made me afraid. I remember having read in some strange book somewhere that when the gods wish to punish us, they answer our prayers.
But tell me, Robert, did you never suffer any regret for what you had done?
No, I felt that I had fought the century with its own weapons and won.
You thought you had won?
I thought so. Arthur, do you despise me for what I've told you?
I am sorry for you, Robert. Very sorry indeed.
I don't say I felt any remorse. I didn't. It's not remorse in the ordinary, rather silly sense of the word, but I have paid conscience money many times. I had a wild hope I might disarm destiny. The sum Baron Arnheim gave me I've distributed twice over in public charities since then.
In public charities? Dear me, what a lot of harm you must have done, Robert.
Don't say that, Arthur. Don't talk like that.
Oh, never mind what I say. I'm always saying what I shouldn't. In fact, I usually say what I really think. terrible mistake nowadays makes one so liable to be misunderstood. As regards this dreadful business, of course I will help you in any way I can. You know that.
Oh, thank you, Arthur, thank you. But what is to be done? What can be done?
Well, the English can't stand a man who is always saying he is in the right, but they are very fond of a man who admits when he has been in the wrong. It is one of the best things in them. However, in your case, a confession would not do. The money, if you will allow me to say so, is awkward. Besides, if you did make a clean breast of the whole affair, you'd never be able to talk morality again. And in England, a man who can't talk morality twice a week to a large, popular, immoral audience is quite over as a serious politician. There would be nothing left for him as a career except botany?
No.
Or the church.
No.
A confession would be of no use. It would ruin you.
It would ruin me. Arthur, the only thing left for me to do is to fight the thing out.
I was waiting for you to say that, and you must begin by telling your wife the whole story.
That I will not do.
Robert, believe me, you are wrong.
I couldn't do it. It would kill her love for me. And now about this woman, this Mrs. Cheveley. How can I defend myself against her? You knew her before, Arthur, apparently.
Yes?
Did you know her well?
So little, in fact, that I got engaged to be married to her once when we were staying at the Tenbys. The affair lasted for 3 days, nearly.
Why was it broken off?
I forget! At least it makes no matter. By the way, have you tried her with money? She used to be confoundedly fond of money.
I offered her any sum of money she wanted. She refused.
So the marvellous gospel of gold breaks down sometimes. The rich can't do everything after all.
Not everything. Oh, I suppose you're right, Arthur. I feel like public disgrace is in store for me. I feel certain of it. I never knew what terror was before. I know it now. It is as if a hand of ice were laid upon one's heart. It is as if one's own heart were beating to death in an empty hollow.
Robert, you must fight her. You must fight her.
But how?
I cannot tell you how at present. I have not the smallest idea. But every one of us has some weak point. There is some flaw in each of us. My father tells me that even I have faults. Perhaps I have. I don't know.
In defending myself against Mrs. Cheveley, I have the right to use any weapon I can find. Have I not?
In your place, I don't think I should have the smallest scruple in doing so.
Well, then I shall write a cipher telegram to the embassy at Vienna. Maybe some secret scandal she might be afraid of.
Oh, I should imagine Mrs. Cheveley is one of those thoroughly modern women of our time who finds a new scandal as becoming as a new bonnet, and air them both every afternoon in the park at 5:30. I should imagine she adores scandals, and that the sorrow of her life at present is that she can't manage to have enough of them.
Why do you say that?
Because last night she wore far too much rouge and not quite enough clothes, and that is always a sign of despair in a woman.
But it is worthwhile, my wiring to Vienna, is it not?
It is always worthwhile asking the question, though it is not always worthwhile answering one.
Is Mr. Trafford in his room?
Yes, Sir Robert.
Tell her that the send-off in cipher at once. There must not be a moment's delay.
Yes, Sir Robert.
Oh, just hand that back to me again. She must have had some curious hold of a Baron Arnheim. I wonder what it was.
I wonder.
Well, I will fight to the death, as long as my wife knows nothing.
Oh, fight in any case, in any case.
Oh, if my wife found out, there'd be little left to fight for. Well, as soon as I hear from Vienna, I will let you know the result. There's a chance, just a chance, but I believe in it. And as I fought the century with its own weapons, I will fight her with her weapons. It's only fair. She's like a woman with a past, doesn't she?
Most pretty women do. But there is a fashion in pasts, just as there is a fashion in frocks, and perhaps Mrs. Cheveley's is merely a slightly décolleté one, and they are excessively popular nowadays. Besides, my dear Robert, I should not build too high hopes on frightening Mrs. Cheveley. She does not strike me as a woman who would be easily frightened. She has survived all her creditors, and she shows wonderful presence of mind.
Oh, I live on hopes now. I clutched every chance. I'm like a man on a ship that is sinking. The water's round my feet, and the very air is bitter with storm. Hush! I hear my wife's voice.
Lord Goring, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lady Chiltern. Have you been in the park?
Oh, no. I have just got back from the Women's Liberal Association, where, by the way, Robert, your name was taken with grand applause. And now, I've just got back for some tea. Oh, you will stay for us. You will stay with us.
I'll wait for a short time, thanks.
Right. Well, I will just be a moment. I'm just going to take this bonnet off.
Oh, please don't! It is so pretty! It is one of the prettiest hats I ever saw. I hope the Women's Liberal Association received it with loud applause.
We have much more important work to do than to sit around and talk of each other's bonnets, Lord Goring.
Really? What sort of work?
Oh, I don't know. Dull, useful, delightful things, such as the Factory Acts, female inspectors, the 8 Hours Bill, the parliamentary franchise. Everything, in fact, that you would find thoroughly uninteresting.
And never bonnets.
Never bonnets. Never.
Oh, Arthur, you've been a good friend to me, a thoroughly good friend.
I don't know that I've been able to do much for you, Robert, as yet. In fact, as far as I can see, I haven't been able to do anything for you. I am thoroughly disappointed in myself.
No, you've enabled me to tell you the truth. That is something. The truth has always stifled me.
The truth is a thing I get rid of as soon as possible. Bad habit, by the way. Makes one so very unpopular at the club with the older members. They call it being conceited? Perhaps it is. I don't know.
I would to God that I had been able to tell the truth, to live the truth. That is the one great thing in life, to live the truth. I'll see you soon again, Arthur, shan't I?
Certainly, whenever you like. I'm going to look in at the bachelor's ball tonight, unless I can find something better to do, but I'll come round again tomorrow morning. If you should need me tonight by any chance, send round a note to Curzon Street.
Thank you.
Oh, Robert, you're not leaving, are you?
I have some letters to write, dear.
Oh, you're always working. You seem never to think of yourself. Oh, and you're looking so tired.
It's nothing, dear, nothing.
Oh. Do sit down, Lord Goring. I am glad you called. Oh, there is something I wanted to talk to you about. Not bonnets, of course. Oh, nor the Women's Liberal Association, although you take far too much interest in the first subject and not nearly enough in the second.
You wish to talk to me about Mrs. Cheveley.
Well, yes, you guessed it. Turns out, after you left last night, what she had said was true. Of course, I made Robert write a letter immediately withdrawing his promise.
So he gave me to understand.
To have done so would have been the first stain in an otherwise stainless career. Robert can't afford to do such things. He must be above reproach. He cannot be like other men. Do you not agree with me? Lord Goring! You are our closest friend and one of our best and oldest friends. You know Robert as well as I do. And I know he doesn't keep any secrets from me, and I should hope he doesn't keep any from you.
He certainly has no secrets from me.
Well, what is it then? I know I am right in my estimate of him. I know I am right. So speak to me frank.
Quite frankly?
Yes. You have nothing to conceal, do you?
Nothing, but my dear Lady Chiltern, I think that in practical life...
Of which you know so little, Lord Goring.
Of which I know nothing by experience, though I do know something by observation. I think that in practical life, there is something about success, actual success, that is a little unscrupulous. Something about ambition that is unscrupulous always. Once a man has his heart and soul set on getting to a certain point, if, in order to reach it, he has to climb the crag, he climbs the crag. If he has to walk in the mire,
When?
he walks in the mire. Of course, I am only talking generally about life.
I should hope so. Lord Goring, why do you look at me so strangely?
Lady Chiltern, I have sometimes thought, if you will allow me to say so, that you don't make sufficient allowances. In every nature, there are elements of weakness, or worse than weakness. Supposing that any public man, my father, or Lord Merton, or Robert, say, had years ago written some foolish letter to someone.
What do you mean, foolish letter?
A letter gravely compromising one's position. I am only putting an imaginary case.
Robert is as incapable of doing a foolish thing as he is of doing a wrong thing.
No one is incapable of doing a foolish thing. No one is incapable of doing a wrong thing.
Lord Goring, are you a pessimist? What will all the other dandies say? They will have to go to mourning.
No, Lady Chiltern, I am not a pessimist. Indeed, I am not sure that I quite know what pessimism really means. All I do know is that life cannot be understood without much charity, cannot be lived without much charity. It is love, and not German philosophy, that is the true explanation of this world, whatever may be the explanation of the next. And if you are ever in trouble, Lady Chiltern, trust in me absolutely, and I will help you in whatever way I can. If you ever want me, come to me for my assistance, and you shall have it. Come at once to me.
Lord Goring, you are quite serious. I don't think I have ever seen you be this serious.
You will have to excuse me, Lady Chiltern. It won't occur again if I can help it.
No, but I like you to be serious. I did not mean to offend. I enjoy this conversation we're having.
Dear Gertrude, don't say such dreadful things to Lord Goring. Seriousness would be very unbecoming to him. Good afternoon, Lord Goring. Pray be as trivial as you can.
I should like to, Miss Mabel, but I'm afraid I'm a little out of practice this morning. Besides, I should be going.
Right as I have come in. What dreadful manners you have. I'm sure you were very badly brought up.
I was?
I wish I had brought you up.
I am so sorry you didn't.
It is too late now, I suppose.
I'm not so sure.
Will you ride tomorrow morning?
Yes, at 10.
Don't forget.
Of course I shan't. By the way, Lady Chiltern, there is no list of your guests in the Morning Poster today. It must have been crowded out by the County Council or the Lambeth Conference or something equally boring. Can I have a list? I have a particular reason for asking you.
Oh, I'm sure Mr. Trafford could get you one.
Tommy Trafford is the most useful person in London.
And who is the most ornamental?
Me?
How clever of you to guess it. Goodbye, Lady Chiltern. You will remember what I said to you, won't you?
Yes, although I do not know why you have said it to me.
I hardly know myself. Goodbye, Miss Mabel.
Oh, I wish you were not going. I've had 4 wonderful adventures this morning. 4.5, in fact. You might stop and listen to some of them.
How very selfish of you to have 4.5. There won't be any left for me.
Well, maybe I don't want you to have any. They would not be good for you.
That is the first unkind thing you have ever said to me. How charmingly you said it. 10 tomorrow.
Sharp.
Quite sharp. But don't bring Mr. Trafford.
Of course I shan't bring Tommy Trafford. Tommy Trafford is in great disgrace.
I am delighted to hear it.
Oh, Gertrude, I wish you would speak to Tommy Trafford.
What has poor Mr. Trafford done this time? You know, he is one of Robert's favourite secretaries.
Well, Tommy has proposed to me. Oh, again. Oh, Tommy really does nothing but propose to me. He proposed to me last night in the music room when I was quite unprotected as there was an elaborate trio going on. I didn't dare make the smallest repartee, I need hardly tell you. If I had, it would have stopped the music at once. And musical people are so absurdly unreasonable. They always want you to be perfectly dumb at the very moment when one is longing to be absolutely deaf. And then, this morning, he proposed to me again in broad daylight, in front of that dreadful statue of Achilles. Really, the things that go on in front of that work of art are quite appalling. The police should interfere.
And then at luncheon I saw by the glare in his eye that he was going to propose to me again, and I just managed to check him in time by assuring him that I was a bimetallist. Fortunately, I don't know what bimetallism means, and I don't believe that anybody else does either, but the observation crushed Tommy for 10 minutes. He was quite shocked. And then, Tommy is so annoying in the way he proposes. If he did it at the top of his voice, I should not mind so much. That might produce some effect on the public, but he does it in this horrid, confidential way. When Tommy wants to be romantic, he speaks to one just like a doctor. I'm very fond of Tommy, but his methods of proposing are quite out of date. Gertrude, I wish you would speak to him and tell him that once a week it's quite enough to propose to anybody, and it should always be done in a manner that attracts some attention.
Oh, Mabel, don't speak like that. Besides, Robert thinks very highly of Mr. Trafford. He has a brilliant future ahead of him.
Oh, I wouldn't marry a man with a future ahead of him for anything in the world.
Mabel!
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. You married a man with a future, didn't you? But then, Robert was a genius, and you have a noble, self-sacrificing character. I am no character at all, and Robert is the only genius I could bear. As a rule, I find them quite impossible. They talk so much, don't they? Such a bad habit. And they are always thinking about themselves when I want them to be thinking about me. I must go round now and rehearse at Lady Basildon's. We're having tableau, remember? The triumph of something, I don't know what. I wish it were the triumph of me. Only triumph I'm interested in. Goodbye, dear. Oh, Gertrude, do you know who's here to see you? That dreadful Mrs. Cheveley in the most lovely gown. Did you ask her?
Mrs. Cheveley? Here to see me?
Impossible! I assure you, she's coming upstairs right now, as large as life and not nearly as natural.
Right, you need not worry, Mabel. Lady Basildon is expecting you.
Oh, I just must shake hands with Lady Markby. I love being scolded by her.
Lady Markby and Mrs. Cheveley.
Oh, dear Lady Markby, how wonderful of you to come to see me this morning. Mrs. Cheveley, won't you sit down?
Thanks. Isn't that Miss Chiltern? I should like so much to know her.
Mabel, Mrs. Cheveley wishes to know you.
I thought your frock was so charming last night, Miss Chiltern. So simple and suitable.
Oh, really? I must tell my dressmaker. It'll come as such a surprise to her. Goodbye, Lady Markby.
Going already?
Oh, I'm so sorry, but I must. I've got to stand on my head in some tableau.
On your head, child? Hope not. It seems most unhealthy.
But it is for a great cause, in aid of the undeserving, the only people I'm really interested in. I am secretary, and Tommy Trafford is treasurer.
And what is Lord Goring?
Lord Goring is president.
Who should suit him admirably, unless he has deteriorated since I knew him past.
You are remarkably modern, Mabel. A little too modern, perhaps. Nothing is so dangerous as being too modern. One is apt to grow old-fashioned quite suddenly. I've known many instances of it.
What a dreadful prospect.
Oh, no need to be nervous, dear. You will always be as pretty as possible. That is the best fashion there is, and the only fashion that England succeeds in setting.
Thanks so much, Lady Markby, for England and myself.
Well, dear Gertrude, we just called to see if Mrs. Cheveley's diamond brooch has been found.
Here? Yes, I missed it when I got back to Claridge's last night, and I thought I might have possibly dropped it here.
Well, I haven't heard anything, but I guess I could call for the butler.
Oh, pray don't trouble, Lady Chiltern. I dare say I left it at the opera before I came here.
Oh, yes, I suppose it must have been at the opera. The fact is, we all scramble and jostle so much nowadays that I wonder we have anything at all left on us at the end of an evening. I know myself that when I'm coming back from the drawing room, I often feel as if I hadn't a shred on me, except for a small shred of decent reputation, just enough to prevent the lower classes from making painful observations through the windows of the carriage. The fact is, our society is terribly overpopulated. Really, someone should arrange a proper scheme of assisted emigration. It would do a great deal of good.
I quite agree, Lady Markby. It is been nearly 6 years since I've been in London for the season, and society has become dreadfully mixed. One sees the oddest people everywhere.
That is quite true, dear. But one needn't know them. I'm sure I don't know half the people who come to my house, and from what I hear, I shouldn't like to.
Oh, what kind of a brooch was it that you lost, Mrs. Cheveley?
A diamond snake brooch with a ruby, a rather large ruby.
I thought you said there was a sapphire on the head, dear.
No, Lady Markby, a ruby.
And very becoming, I'm quite sure. In fact, when I was
Has
young...
a diamond and ruby brooch been found in any of the rooms this morning, Mason?
No, my lady.
It really is of no consequence, Lady Chiltern. I am so sorry to have put you to any inconvenience.
Oh, it has been of no inconvenience. Right, that'll be all, Mason. You can bring in tea.
Well, I must say it is most annoying to lose anything. I remember once at Bath, years ago, losing in the pump room an exceedingly handsome cameo bracelet that Sir John had given me. Don't think he has given me anything since, I'm sorry to say. He has sadly degenerated. Really, this horrid House of Commons quite ruins our husbands for us. I think it by far the greatest blow to a happy married life that there has been since that dreadful thing called the higher education of women was invented.
Oh, it is heresy to say that in our house. Robert is a great champion of the higher education of women, as, I am afraid, am I.
The higher education of men is what I should like to see. Men need it so sadly.
They do, dear, but I'm afraid such a scheme would be quite unpractical. I don't think man has much capacity for development. He has got as far as he can, and that is not very far, is it? With regard to women, dear Gertrude, you are part of the younger generation, and I'm sure it is all right if you approve of it. In my time, of course, we girls were taught not to understand anything. That was the old system, and wonderfully interesting it was. I assure you, the amount of things I and my poor dear sister were taught not to understand is quite extraordinary. But modern women understand everything, I'm told.
Except their husbands. That is the one thing the modern woman never understands.
Yes, and quite a good thing too, dear, I'm afraid. It would break up many a happy home if they did. Not yours, of course, dear Gertrude. You've married a pattern husband. I wish I could say as much for myself, but since Sir John has taken to attending the debates regularly, well, his language has become quite impossible. He always seems to think that he's addressing the House, and consequently, whenever he discusses the state of the agricultural labourer or the Welsh church or something improper of the kind, well, I am obliged to send all the servants out of the room. It is most unpleasant to see one's own butler, who has been with one for 23 years, actually blushing at the sideboard, and the footman making contortions in corners like persons at the circus. I assure you, my life will be quite ruined unless they send Sir John to the upper house at once. The House of Lords is so sensible, an assembly of gentlemen, but I'm afraid that in his present state, Sir John is really a great trial. Why, just this morning, before breakfast was half over, he stood up on the hearthrug, put his hands in his pockets, and appealed to the nation at the top of his voice. I left as soon as I had finished my second cup of tea, I need hardly say, but his violent language could be heard all throughout the house. I trust, Gertrude, that your husband was not like that.
Oh, no. But I adore Robert speaking politics. I am very much interested in politics myself, Lady Markby.
Well, I hope he is not as devoted to blue books as Sir John is. I don't think they can be quite improving reading for anyone.
I've never read a blue book. I prefer books in yellow covers.
Yellow is a gayer colour, is it not? I used to wear yellow a good deal more in my early days. And I would do so still if Sir John was not so painfully personal in his observations. And a man, on the question of dress, is always ridiculous, is he not?
Oh no, men are the only authorities on dress.
Really, dear? One wouldn't say so from the sort of hats they wear, would one?
Some tea, Mrs. Cheveley.
Thanks.
Lady Markby, some tea?
No, thanks, dear. The fact is, I promised to go round for 10 minutes to see poor Lady Brancaster, who was in a great deal of trouble. Her own daughter, a very well brought up girl too, has actually become engaged to be married to a curate in Shropshire. It's very sad indeed. I can't understand this modern mania for curates. In my time, we girls saw them, of course, running about the place like rabbits, but we hardly ever paid them any notice. But I am told that country society is quite honeycombed with them. I think it most irreligious. And then, the eldest son has quarrelled with his father. It is said that when they meet at the club, Lord Brancaster always hides himself behind a money article in the Times. However, I think that is quite a common occurrence nowadays, and that they have to bring in extra copies of the Times at all the clubs in St. James Street. So many sons who won't speak to their fathers, and so many fathers who won't have anything to do with their sons. I think it's very much to be regretted.
So do I. Fathers have so much to learn from their sons.
Really, dear, like what?
The art of living. The only real fine art we have produced in modern times.
Ah, yes, I'm afraid Lord Brancaster knew a good deal about that. Much more than his poor wife ever did. You know Lady Brancaster, don't you?
Oh, just slightly. We were staying at Langton last autumn when they were.
Ah, yes, I see. Well, I'm afraid Lady Brancaster has had a great deal of tragedies in her family. Besides this affair of the curate. Her own sister, Mrs. Jekyll, well, she had a most unhappy life, through no fault of her own, I'm sorry to say. She was ultimately so broken-hearted that she went into a convent, or onto the operatic stage, I forget which. Or was it decorative art needlework she took up? Either way, I know she had lost all sense of pleasure in life. And now, dear, I must go, and I shall leave Mrs. Cheveley in your charge and call back for her in a quarter of an hour, unless Mrs. Cheveley wouldn't mind waiting for me in the carriage while I'm with Lady Brancaster. As I intended to be a visitor of condolence, I shan't stay long.
I don't mind waiting in the carriage at all, provided there is someone to look for one.
Well, I hear the curate is always prowling about the house.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not fond of girlfriends.
I was hoping Mrs. Cheveley would stay here for a bit. I would like to have a few words with her.
How very kind, Lady Chiltern. Believe me, nothing would bring me greater pleasure.
Yes, I'm sure you both have many pleasant reminiscences of your school days to talk over together. Shall I see you at Lady Bernard's tonight, Gertrude? She has discovered a wonderful new genius. He does nothing at all, I believe, and that is a great comfort, is it not?
Robert and I will be dining in tonight, and then I don't think I will go out anywhere. Robert has to be in the house, of course, but there's not much interesting going on.
Dining at home by yourselves? Is that quite prudent? I forget. You married the exception. I married the general rule. And nothing ages a woman so rapidly as having married the general rule. Ta-ta.
Wonderful woman, Lady Markby. Talks more and says less than anybody I ever met. She is made to be a public figure, really, much more so than her husband, though he is a typical Englishman, always dull and usually violent.
Mrs. Cheveley, I think it quite right for you to know that had I known who you really were, I should not have invited you into my house last night.
Really?
I could not have done so.
I see that after all these years, you've not changed a bit, Gertrude.
I never change.
Then life has taught you nothing.
It has taught me that when someone has been guilty of an act of dishonour or shame, one can be guilty of it a second time and must be shunned for it.
Would you apply that rule to everybody?
Yes, to everyone, without exception.
Then I am sorry for you, Gertrude. Quite sorry for you.
I am sure you understand that, for many reasons, any acquaintance between us during your stay in London is quite impossible.
Do you know, Gertrude, I don't mind your talking morality of me a bit. Morality is simply the attitude we adopt towards people whom we personally dislike. You dislike me, I am quite aware of that, and I have always detested you. And yet, I've come to do you a service.
Like the service you wished to render my husband last night, I suppose. Thank heavens I saved him from that.
It was you who made him write that insolent letter to me. It was you who made him break his promise.
Yes.
Then you must make him keep it. I am going to give you till tomorrow morning, no more. If by that time your husband does not solemnly bind himself to help me in this great scheme...
This fraudulent speculation!
Call it what you choose. I hold your husband in the hollow of my hand, and if you are wise, you will make him do what I tell him.
You are impertinent. How dare you class my husband with yourself, with a woman like you?
In this world, like calls to like. It is because your husband is himself fraudulent and dishonest that we fare so well together. Between you and him there are chasms. He and I are closer than friends. We are enemies linked together. The same sin binds us.
How dare you class my husband with yourself? How dare you threaten him or me? Leave my house! You are unfit to enter it! Leave!
Your house? A house bought with the price of dishonour? A house everything of which has been paid for by fraud? Ask him what the origin of his fortune is. Get him to tell you how he sold a stockbroker a cabinet secret. Learn from him to what you owe your position.
It is not true! Robert! Tell her! It is not true!
Look at him. Can he deny it? Does he dare to?
Go! Go at once! You have done your worst now!
My worst? I am not yet finished with you. With either of you. I will give you both till tomorrow by noon. If by that time you do not solemnly bind yourself to help me, the whole world shall know the origin of Robert Chiltern.
Mason! Show Mrs. Cheveley out.
You sold the cabinet secret. You began your life with fraud. You set your career upon dishonour. Tell me it's not true. Lie to me, Robert. Lie to me. Tell me it is not true.
Gertrude, what this woman said is quite true, but you don't understand how I was tempted. Let me tell you the whole thing.
Don't come near me. Don't touch me. I feel as if you have soiled me forever. What a horrible mask you have been wearing all these years. A horrible painted mask. You sold yourself for money. You put yourself to bid to the You put yourself to sale to the highest bidder. You were bought in market. You have lied to the whole world. And yet you will not lie to me.
Gertrude.
No. Don't speak. Say nothing. Your voice wakes memories of things that were once beautiful to me. It reminds me of words that made me love you. Memories that are now horrible to me. How I worshipped you. You were to me something apart from common life. A thing pure, noble, honest, without stain. The world seemed to me purer because you were in it. And goodness, all that much more real because you lived. Oh, and when I think that I have made of a man like you my ideal. The ideal of my life!
That was your mistake. That was your error. The error all women commit. Why can't you women love us, faults and all? Why must you place us on monstrous pedestals? We have all feet of clay, men as well as women, but when we men love women, we love them knowing their weaknesses, their follies, their imperfections, love them all the more for their reason. It's not the perfect, but the imperfect with need of love. It is when we are wounded by our own hands or by the hands of others that love should come and cure us. That's what gives it love at all. All sins except a sin against itself, love should forgive. All lives, save loveless lives, love should pardon. Man's love is like that. It is wider, larger, more human than a woman's. Women think they are making ideals of men. What they are making are false idols merely. You made your false idol of me, and I have not the courage to come down, show you my wounds, and tell you my weaknesses. And so last night you ruined my life for me. Yes, ruined it. What this woman asked of me was nothing compared to what she offered to me. She offered security, peace, stability. The sin of my youth that I thought was buried rose up in front of me. Hideous, horrible, with its hands at my throat, and I could have killed it forever. I could have sent it back to its tomb. I could have destroyed its record. I could have burned the one witness against me. You prevented me. No one but you. You know it. And now what is there left before me but ruin, terrible shame, mockery of the world, lonely dishonoured life, a lonely dishonoured death it may be someday. Let women make no more ideals of men. Let them not put them on altars and bow before them, or else they may ruin other lives, as completely as you who I am so wildly loved, have ruined mine.
Robert!
Your lordship.
Got my second buttonhole for me, Phipps?
Yes, my lord.
Rather distinguished thing, Phipps. I'm the only person of the smallest importance in London at present who wears a buttonhole.
Yes, my lord, I have observed that.
You see, Phipps, fashion is what one wears oneself. What is unfashionable is what other people wear.
Yes, my lord.
Just as vulgarity is merely the conduct of other people.
Yes, my lord.
And falsehood's merely the truths of other people.
Yes, my lord.
Other people are quite detestable. The
Yes.
only possible society is oneself.
Yes, my lord.
To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance, Phipps.
Yes, my lord.
Don't think I quite like this buttonhole, Phipps. Makes me look a little old. It makes me look almost in the prime of life. Hey, Phipps.
I do not observe any alteration in your lordship's appearance.
You don't?
No, my lord, no.
I'm not convinced. Perhaps a more trivial buttonhole in future on Thursday evenings.
Yes, I shall speak with the florist, my lord. I believe she's had a loss in her family recently, which might account for the lack of triviality your lordship complains of in the buttonhole.
Extraordinary thing about the lower classes in England. They are always losing their relations.
Yes, my lord, they are extremely fortunate in that regard.
Any letters?
3, my lord.
Want my cab round in 20 minutes?
Yes, my lord.
Phipps, when did this letter arrive for me?
It was delivered by hand just after your lordship left for the club.
That'll do.
Yes.
Lady Chiltern's handwriting on Lady Chiltern's pink notepaper. How curious. I thought Robert was to write. Wonder what Lady Chiltern has got to say to me. I want you, I trust you, I am coming to you, Gertrude. I want you, I trust you, I am coming to you, Gertrude. So she has discovered everything. Poor woman, poor woman. But what an hour to call, 10 o'clock. I shall have to give up going to the Berkshires. Then again, it is always nice to be expected and not to arrive. I'm not expected at the Bachelors', so I shall certainly go there. Well, I shall have to make her stand by her husband. It is the only thing for her to do. It is the only thing for any woman to do. It is the growth of the moral sensibility in women that makes marriage such a hopeless, one-sided institution. 10 o'clock. She should be here soon. I must tell Phipps that I'm not in to any...
Lord Caversham!
What is it in parents that always makes them turn up at precisely the wrong moment? Some extraordinary mistake in nature, I suppose. Delighted to see you, my dear father.
Take my cloak off.
Is it worthwhile, father?
Of course it is worthwhile, sir. Which is the most comfortable chair?
It is the one I use myself when I have visitors.
Thank you. No draught, I hope, in this room?
No, father?
Yeah, dear, it can't stand draughts. No draughts at home.
Good many breezes, father?
Eh? I don't understand what you mean. Want to have a serious conversation with you, boy.
My dear father, at this hour?
Well, it is only 10 o'clock, sir. What is your objection to the hour? I think the hour is an admirable hour.
The fact is, I am very sorry, but it is not my day for talking seriously. It is not my day.
What do you mean, sir?
During the season, I only talk seriously on the first Tuesday in every month from 4 until 7.
Well, make it Tuesday, son, make it Tuesday.
But it is after 7, and my doctor says I must not have any serious conversation after 7. It makes me talk in my sleep.
Talk in your sleep, sir. What does that matter? You are not married.
No, father, I am not married.
That is what I've come to talk to you about, sir. You must get married, and at once. Why, when I was your age, I've been an inconsolable widower for 3 months, and was already paying my addresses to your admirable mother. Damn, sir, it is your duty to get married. You can't be always living for pleasure. Every man of position is married nowadays. Bachelors are not fashionable anymore. They are a damaged lot. Too much is known about them. You must get a wife, sir. Look where your friend Robert Chiltern has got to by hard work, probity, and a sensible marriage with a good woman. Why don't you imitate him, sir? Why don't you take him for your model?
I think I shall, father.
I wish you would, sir. Then I should be happy. At present I make your mother's life miserable on your account. You are heartless, sir, very heartless.
I hope not, Father.
And it is high time for you to get married. You are 34 years of age, sir.
Yes, but I only admit to 32. 31 and a half when I have a really good buttonhole. This buttonhole is not trivial enough.
I tell you, you are 34, sir. And there is a draft in your room besides, which makes your conduct worse. Why did you tell me there was no draft? I feel a draft. I feel distinctly.
You are quite right. It is a dreadful draft. I'll tell you what. I'll come and see you tomorrow, and we can talk over anything you like.
No, sir. I have called this evening for a definite purpose, and I will see it through at all costs, to my health or yours. Put down my cloak, sir.
But, Father, you are quite right. It is a dreadful draft. At least let us go into another room. Is there a good fire in the smoking room?
Yes.
Do let us go in there, Father. Your sneezes are quite heartrending.
Well, sir, I suppose I have a right to sneeze when I choose.
Quite so, Father. I was merely trying to express sympathy.
Oh, damn sympathy. There's a great deal too much of that sort of thing going on nowadays.
I quite agree. If there was less sympathy in the world, there would be less trouble in the world.
That is a paradox, sir. I hate paradoxes.
So do I, Father. It seems everyone one meets nowadays is a paradox. It is a great bore. It makes society so obvious.
Do you really always understand what you say, sir?
Yes, if I listen attentively.
If you listen attentively, conceited young puppy.
Phipps, there is a lady coming to see me tonight on particular business. When she arrives, show her into the drawing room, you understand?
Yes, my lord.
It is a matter of the gravest importance, Phipps.
I understand, my lord.
No one else is to be admitted under any circumstance. Oh, there is a lady now. I shall go and see her in myself.
Well, sir, am I to wait attendance on you?
Of course not, Father. Do excuse me for a moment. Remember my instructions, Phipps. Into that room.
Yes, my lord.
Is Lord Goring not here? I was told he was at home.
Lord Goring is engaged with Lord Caversham at present, madam.
How very filial.
Yes. Lord Goring told me to tell you to please wait for him in the drawing room. He will come to you there.
Lord Goring expects me.
Yes, madam.
Are you quite sure?
Yes, madam. Lord Goring told me that if a lady were to come calling, I were to ask her to wait for him in the drawing room. His instructions on the matter are very precise.
How very thoughtful of him. To expect the unexpected shows a thoroughly modern intellect. How dreary a bachelor's drawing room always looks. I shall have to alter all of this. No, I don't care for that lamp. It is far too glaring. Light some candles. I hope the candles are very becoming shades.
We've had no complaints about them, madam, as yet.
I wonder what woman he could be waiting for tonight. He's so delightful to catch him. Men always look so silly when they are being caught, and they are always being caught. What a very interesting room. What a very interesting picture. I wonder what his correspondences are like. What very uninteresting correspondences. Bills and cards, debts and dowagers. Who on earth writes to him on pink paper? How very silly to write on pink paper. It looks like the beginning of a middle-class romance. Romance should never begin with sentiment. It should always begin with science and end with a settlement. I recognise that handwriting. That is Gertrude Chiltern's. I remember it perfectly now. The moral law written all over the page and the 10 Commandments with every stroke of the pen. I wondered what she could be writing to him about. Something dreadful about me, I suppose. I want you I trust you. I am coming to you, Gertrude. I want you. I trust you. I am coming to you, Gertrude.
The candles in the drawing room are lit, madam, as you instructed.
Thanks.
I trust the shades will be to your liking. They're the most becoming we have. They're the same as Lordship uses when he dresses for dinner.
Then I'm sure they'll be perfectly right.
Thank you, madam.
Do I look straight to you?
Yes, sir!
My dear father, if I am to get married, you must allow me to choose the time, the place, and the person, particularly the person.
That is a matter for me, sir. You would probably make a very poor choice. It is I who should be consulted, not you. There is property at stake. It is not a matter for affection. Affection comes later on in married life.
Yes, in married life, affection comes when two people thoroughly dislike each other, doesn't it, father?
Certainly, sir. I mean, certainly not, sir. You are speaking very foolishly tonight. What I say is that marriage is a matter for common sense.
But women who have common sense are so curiously plain, father. At least so I hear. I speak only from hearsay.
No woman, plain or pretty, has any common sense at all. Common sense is the privilege of our sex.
Oh, yes, and we men are so self-sacrificing that we never use it, do we, father?
I use it, sir. I use nothing else.
So my mother tells me.
It is the secret of your mother's happiness. You are heartless, sir. Very heartless.
I hope not, father.
Oh, my dear Arthur, what wonderful luck meeting you here on your doorstep. Your servant has just told me you were not at home. How extraordinary.
The fact is, Robert, I'm afraid I am horribly busy tonight, and I gave orders that I wasn't into anyone. Even my father had a comparatively cold reception. He complained of a draft the entire time.
But you must be at home to me, Arthur. You are my best friend. Perhaps after tonight you'll be my only friend. My wife has discovered everything.
I guessed as much.
Really? How?
Really, by something in the expression of your face as you came in. Who told her?
Mrs. Cheveley herself. And the woman I love knows that I started my life with an act of low dishonesty, that I built my career upon sands of shame that I sold, like a common huckster. I thank heaven Lord Radley died without knowing that I betrayed him. I would to God that I had died before I'd been so horribly tempted or had fallen so low.
You've heard nothing from Vienna, then, in answer to your wire?
Yes, I received a telegram from the first secretary at 8 o'clock tonight.
Well?
Nothing is absolutely known against her. On the contrary, she occupies a rather high position. It is a sort of open secret that the Baron left her the greater portion of his immense fortune. Beyond that, I can learn nothing.
She doesn't turn out to be a spy, then?
Oh, spies are of no use nowadays. That profession is over. The newspapers do their work instead.
And thunderingly well they do it.
Arthur, I am parched with thirst. May I ring for something? Some hock and seltzer?
Certainly. Let me.
Thanks. I don't know what to do, Arthur. I don't know what to do, and you are my only friend. But what a friend you are. I can trust you absolutely, can't I?
My dear Robert, of course. Oh, Phipps. Hock and seltzer. Robert, do excuse me a moment. I need to speak to my servant for a moment.
Certainly.
When that lady comes, tell her that I've been called out of town urgently and am not expected back for the rest of the evening.
The lady is waiting for you in the drawing room, my lord. You told me to ask her to wait for you in the drawing room.
You did perfectly right.
Yes.
What a mess I am in. No, I think I shall get through it. I'll have to give her a lecture through the door, though. Awkward thing to manage.
Oh, Arthur, tell me what I should do. My life seems to have crumbled about me. I'm like a ship without a rudder in a night without a star.
Robert, you love your wife, don't you?
I love her more than anything in the world. I used to think ambition the great thing. It is not. Love is the great thing. There's nothing but love, and I love her. But I am defamed in her eyes. I'm ignoble in her eyes. There's a wide gulf between us now.
Has she never in her life done some folly, some indiscretion, that she should not forgive your sin?
My wife? Never. She does not know what weakness or temptations is. I am of clay like other men, but she stands apart as good women do, pitiless in her perfection, cold and stern and without mercy. But I love her, Arthur. We are childless, and I have no one else to love, no one else to love me. Perhaps if God had sent us children, she might have been kinder to me, but God has given us a lonely house. Oh, don't let us talk of it. I was brutal to her last evening. I said to her things that were hideously true. From my standpoint, from the standpoint of men. Oh, but don't let us talk of that.
Robert, your wife will forgive you. She loves you. Why should she not forgive?
God.
Perhaps at this very moment she is forgiving you.
Oh, God grant it. God grant it. But there's another thing I have to tell you, Arthur.
All consult, sir.
Ah, thank you.
Robert, is your carriage here?
No, I walked from the club.
Sir Robert will take my cab.
Yes, my lord.
Robert, you don't mind my sending you away, do you?
Oh, but Arthur, you must let me stay for 5 minutes. I've made up my mind what I'm going to do tonight in the house. The debate on the Argentine Canal is to begin at 11. What is that?
Nothing.
I heard a chair fall in the next room. Someone has been listening.
No, there is no one there.
There is light in the room and the door is ajar. Arthur, someone has been listening to every secret of my life. What does this mean?
Robert, you are excited, unnerved. I tell you that there is no one in that room. Sit down, Robert.
Do you give me your word that there's no one there?
Yes.
Your word of honor?
Yes.
Arthur, let me see for myself.
No.
If there's no one there, why should I not go into that room? Arthur, you must let me go into that room and satisfy myself. Let me know that no eavesdropper has heard my life's secret. Arthur, you don't know what I'm going through.
Robert, this must stop. I have told you that there is no one in that room, and that is enough.
It is not enough. I insist on going into this room. You have told me that there's no one there, so what reason can you have for refusing me?
For God's sake, don't! There is someone in that room, someone whom you must not see.
Ah, I thought so.
I forbid you to enter that room!
Stand back. I don't care who is in that room. I will find out who it is to whom I've told my life's secret and my shame.
Great heavens, his own wife.
What explanation have you to give for the presence of that woman being here?
Robert, I swear to you upon my honour that that lady is stainless and guiltless of all offence towards you.
She's a vile, an infamous thing.
Robert, don't say that. It was for your sake she came here. It was to try and save you. She came here. She loves you and no one else.
Loves? You are mad. What have I to do with her intrigues with you? Let her remain your mistress. You are well suited to each other. She corrupt and shameful. You false as a friend, treacherous as an enemy even.
It is not true. Before heaven, it is not true. In her presence and in yours, I will explain all.
Let me pass, sir. You have lied enough upon your word of honour.
Good evening, Lord Goring.
Mrs. Cheveley, great heavens. May I ask what you were doing in my drawing room?
Merely listening. I have a perfect passion for listening through keyholes. One always hears such wonderful things through them.
Doesn't that sound rather like tempting Providence?
Oh, surely Providence can resist temptation by this time.
I'm very glad you've called. I'm going to give you some very good advice.
Oh, pray don't. One should never give a woman anything she can't wear in the evening.
I see you are quite as willful as you used to be.
Oh, far more. I've greatly improved. I've had more experience.
Too much experience is a dangerous thing. Pray have a cigarette. Half the pretty women in London smoke cigarettes. Personally, I prefer the other half.
Thanks, I never smoke. My dressmaker wouldn't like it. And a woman's first duty in life is to her dressmaker, isn't it? What the second duty is, no one has yet discovered.
You've come here to sell me Robert Chiltern's letter, haven't you?
To offer it to you on conditions? Yes, how did you guess that?
Because you haven't mentioned the subject. Have you got it with you?
Oh no. A well-made dress has no pockets.
What is your price for it?
How absurdly English you are. Why, the English think a checkbook can solve every problem in life. My dear Arthur, I have very much more money than you have, and quite as much as Robert Chiltern can get hold of. Money is not what I want.
What do you want then, Mrs. Cheveley?
Why don't you call me Laura?
I don't like the name.
You used to adore it.
Yes, that's why.
Arthur, You loved me once.
Yes.
And you asked me to be your wife.
That was the natural result of my loving you.
And you threw me aside because you saw, or said that you saw, poor old Lord Mortlake trying to have a violent flirtation with me in the conservatory attending.
I believe my lawyer settled that matter with you on certain terms dictated by yourself.
At that time I was poor and you were rich.
Quite so. That is why you pretended to love me.
Oh, poor old Lord Mortlake, who had only two topics of conversation, his gout and his wife. I could never quite make out which of the two he was talking about. He used the most horrid language about them both. Oh, you were silly, Arthur, weren't you? My Lord Mortlake was never anything more to me than an amusement. Those utterly tedious amusements one only finds at an English country house on an English country Sunday. I don't think anyone of at all morally responsible for what he or she does at an English country house.
Yes, I know lots of people think that.
Arthur, I did love you.
My dear Mrs. Cheveley, you have always been far too clever to know anything about love.
I did love you. And you loved me. You know you loved me. Love is a very wonderful thing. I suppose that when a man has once loved a woman, he'll do anything for her except continue to love her.
Yes, except that.
I am tired of living abroad. I want to come back to London. I want to have a charming house here. I want to have a cellar. If anyone could teach the Irish how to talk and the English how to listen, society here would be quite civilized. Besides, I've reached the romantic stage. When I was at the Chilterns last night, I realized you were the only person in the world whom I've ever cared for, if I've ever cared for anyone. And so, on the morning of the day you marry me, I will give you Robert Chiltern's letter. I will give it to you now, if you promise to marry me.
Now?
Tomorrow.
Are you really serious?
Quite serious.
I should make you a very bad husband.
I don't mind bad husbands. I've had, too. They amused me immensely.
You mean that you amused yourself immensely, don't you?
What do you know about my married life?
Oh, nothing. But I can read it like a book.
What book?
The Book of Numbers.
Do you think that it's very charming of you to be so rude to a woman in your own house?
In the case of very fascinating women, sex is a challenge, not a defense.
And I suppose that is meant for a compliment. Oh, my dear Arthur, women are never disarmed by compliments. Men always are. That is the difference between the two sexes.
Women are never disarmed by anything, as far as I know them.
Then you are going to allow your greatest friend, Robert Chiltern, to be ruined, rather than marry someone who really has considerable attractions left. I thought you would have risen to some great height of self-sacrifice. Arthur, I think you should. And the rest of your life you could spend in contemplating your own perfection.
Oh, I do that as it is. And self-sacrifice is a thing that should be put down by law. It is so demoralizing to the people for whom one sacrifices oneself. They always go to the bad.
As if anything could demoralize Robert Chiltern. You seem to forget that I know that man's real character.
What you know about him is not his real character. It was an act of folly, done in his youth. Disgraceful, I admit. Shameful, I admit. Unworthy of him, I admit. And therefore not his true character.
How you men stand up for each other.
How you women war against each other.
I only war against one woman. Gertrude Chiltern. I hate her. I hate her now more than I ever have.
Because you brought a real tragedy into her life, I suppose.
Oh, there was only one real tragedy in a woman's life. The fact that her past is always her lover, and her future, invariably her husband.
Lady Chiltern knows nothing of the kind of life to which you are alluding.
A woman whose size in gloves is 7 3/4 never knows much about anything. Do you know Gertrude Chiltern has always worn 7 3/4? That was one of the reasons why there was never any moral sympathy between us. Well, Arthur, I suppose this romantic interview may be considered as at an end. You admit it was romantic, don't you? For the great privilege of being your wife, I was ready to surrender a great prize, the climax of my diplomatic career. You refuse. Very well. If Robert Chiltern doesn't uphold my Argentine scheme, I expose him. Voila!
You mustn't do that. It would be vile, horrible, infamous.
Oh, don't use such big words. They mean so little. It is a commercial transaction, that is all. There was no good mixing up sentimentality in it. I offer to sell Robert Chiltern a certain thing. If he won't pay me my price, he's going to have to pay the world a greater price. There is no more to be said. I must go. You shake hands.
With you? No. Your transaction with Robert Chiltern may pass as a loathsome commercial transaction of a loathsome commercial age, but you seem to have forgotten that you came here tonight to talk of love. You whose lips desecrated the word love went this afternoon to the house of one of the most noble and gentle women in the world to degrade her husband in her eyes, to try and kill her love for him, to put poison in her heart and bitterness in her life, to break her idol and it maybe spoil her soul. That I cannot forgive you. That was horrible. For that there can be no forgiveness.
Arthur, you are unjust to me. Believe me, you are quite unjust to me. I didn't go to taunt Gertrude Chiltern at all. I had no idea of doing anything of the kind when I arrived. I called with Lady Markby to ask whether a jewel and ornament that I'd lost somewhere last night had been found at the Chilterns. If you don't believe me, you can ask Lady Markby. She will tell you it is quite true. The scene that occurred happened after Lady Markby had left and was really forced upon me by Gertrude's rudeness and sneers. I called, a little out of malice if you like, but really to ask whether a diamond snake brooch had been found. That was the origin of the whole thing.
A diamond snake brooch with a ruby?
Yes. How did you know that?
Because it is found. In point of fact, I found it myself and stupidly forgot to tell the butler anything about it as I was leaving. This is the brooch.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad to have it back. It was a present.
Won't you wear it?
Certainly, in it. Why did you put it on as a bracelet? I never knew it could be worn like that.
Really?
No, but it looks very well on me as a bracelet, doesn't it?
Yes, much better than when I saw it last.
When did you see it last?
Oh, 10 years ago on Lady Berkshire, from whom you stole it.
What do you mean?
I mean that you stole that ornament from my cousin Mary Berkshire, to whom I gave it when she was married. Suspicion fell on a wretched servant who was sent away in disgrace. I recognised it immediately last night and resolved not to say anything about it until I'd found the thief. I have found the thief now and heard her own confession.
This is not true.
You know it is true. Why, thief is written across your face at this very moment.
I will deny the whole affair from beginning to end. I will say that I've never seen this wretched thing, that it was never in my possession. Damn!
You see, the drawback of stealing a thing, Mrs. Cheveley, is that one never knows how wonderful the thing that one steals is. You can't get that bracelet off unless you know where the spring is. And I see you don't know where the spring is. It is rather difficult to find.
You brute! You coward!
Oh, don't use such big words. They mean so little.
What are you going to do?
I am going to ring for my servant. He's an admirable servant, always comes at the moment when he is called for. And when he arrives, I will tell him to fetch the police.
The police? What for?
Tomorrow, the Berkshires will prosecute you. That is what the police are for.
Don't! Don't! I will give you anything you want, anything in the world you want.
Give me Robert Chiltern's letter.
Stop! Stop! Let me have time to think.
Give me Robert Chiltern's letter.
I haven't got it with me. I will give it to you tomorrow.
You know you are lying. Give it to me at once.
Yes.
For so well-dressed a woman, Mrs. Cheveley, you have moments of admirable common sense. I congratulate you.
Please go get me a glass of water.
Certainly.
Thanks. Will you help me on with my cloak?
With pleasure.
I'm never going to harm Robert Chiltern again.
Fortunately, you have not the chance.
Even if I had the opportunity, I wouldn't. On the contrary, I'm going to render him a great service.
I'm charmed to hear it. It is a reformation.
Yes, I can't stand so upright a gentleman, so honourable an English gentleman, being so shamefully deceived. And so...
Well?
It seems that Gertrude Chiltern's dying speech and confession has found its way into my pocket.
What do you mean?
I mean that I'm going to send Robert Chiltern the love letter his wife wrote to you earlier this night.
Love letter?
I want you. I trust you. I'm coming to you, Gertrude.
You wretched woman, must you always be thieving? Give me back my letter. I'll take it from you by force. You shall not leave my room till I've got it.
Lord Goring merely rang that you should show me out.
Yes, madam.
Good evening, Lord Goring.
I can't find anyone in this house to talk to. And I am full of interesting information. I feel like the latest edition of something or other.
Sir Robert is still at the Foreign Office, my lord.
Lady Chiltern not down yet?
Her ladyship has not yet left her rooms. Miss Chiltern just came back from riding.
Ah, that is something.
Lord Caversham has been in the library for some time waiting for Sir Robert. I told him your lordship was here.
Thank you. Would you kindly tell him I've gone?
I shall do so, my lord.
Oh, I hope he won't come up. I hope to goodness he won't come up. To see one's father 3 days running is a great deal too much excitement for any son. Fathers should be neither seen nor heard. That is the only proper basis for family life. Mothers are different. Mothers are darlings.
Well, sir! What are you doing here? Wasting your life as usual, I suppose. No.
My dear father, when one pays a visit, it is for the purpose of wasting other people's time, not one's own.
Have you been thinking over what I spoke to you about last night?
I have been thinking about nothing else.
Engaged to be married yet?
Not yet, but I hope to be before lunchtime.
You can have till dinner time if that will be of any convenience to you.
Thanks, but I'd sooner be engaged before lunch.
Never know when you're being serious or not. I suppose you've read the Times this morning?
The Times? Good gracious, no. I only read the Morning Post. All one needs to know about modern life is where the duchesses are. Anything else is quite demoralising.
Do you mean to say you have not read the Times' leading article on Robert Chiltern's career?
Good heavens, no. What does it say?
What should it say, sir? Everything complimentary, of course. Chiltern's speech last night on the Argentine Canal scheme was one of the finest pieces of oratory ever delivered in the House since Canning.
Never heard of Canning. Never wanted to. But so, did he uphold the scheme?
Uphold it, sir? How little do you know him? Why, he denounced it roundly, along with the whole system of modern political finance. This speech is a turning point in his career, as the Times points out. You should read this article, sir. Sir Robert Chiltern, the most rising of our young statesmen, brilliant orator, unblemished career, well-known integrity of character, represents what is best in English public life. Noble contrast to the lax morality so common among foreign politicians. They will never say that about you, sir.
Certainly not, Father. But I am charmed by what you tell me about Robert. It shows that he has got pluck.
He's got more than pluck, sir. He's got genius.
Ah, but I prefer pluck. It is not so common nowadays as geniuses.
I wish you would go into Parliament.
My dear father, only people who look dull ever go into the House of Commons, and only people who are dull ever succeed there.
Why don't you try to do something useful in life?
I am far too young.
I hate this affectation of youth, sir. It is a great deal too prevalent nowadays.
Youth isn't an affectation. Youth is an art.
Why don't you propose to that pretty Miss Chiltern?
I am of a very nervous disposition, especially in the morning.
I don't suppose there is the smallest chance of her accepting you.
I don't know how the betting stands today.
If she did accept you, she would be the prettiest fool in England.
That is precisely what I should like to marry. A thoroughly sensible wife would reduce me to a condition of absolute idiocy in less than 6 months.
You don't deserve her, sir.
My dear father, if we men marry the women we deserve, we should have a very bad time of it.
Yes.
How do you do, Lord Caversham? I hope Lady Caversham is quite well.
Lady Caversham is as usual.
Good morning, Miss Mabel.
And Lady Caversham's bonnets, are they at all better?
They've had a serious relapse, I am sorry to say.
Good morning, Miss Mabel.
I hope an operation will not be necessary.
If it is, we should have to give Lady Caversham a narcotic. Otherwise, she would never consent to have her fella touched.
Good morning, Miss Mabel.
Oh, are you here? Of course, you understand that after your breaking your appointment in the park, I am never going to speak to you again.
Oh, please don't say that, Miss Mabel. You are one of the few people in London, the only person in London I really like to have listen to me.
Lord Goring, I don't believe a single word either you or I say to each other.
You are quite right, my dear. Quite right. As far as he is concerned, I mean.
Do you think you could possibly, I don't know, make your son behave a little bit better? Occasionally, just as a change?
I regret to say, Miss Chiltern, that I have no influence at all over my son. I wish I had. If I had, I know what I would make him do.
I'm afraid Lord Goring has a terribly weak nature that is not at all susceptible to influence.
He is very heartless, very heartless.
It seems to me that I am a little in the way here.
And it's good for you to be in the way, and to know what people say about you behind your back.
I don't at all like knowing what people say about me behind my back. It makes me far too conceited.
After that, my dear, I really must bid you good morning.
Oh, please don't leave me alone with Lord Goring, especially at such an early hour in the day.
I'm afraid I can't take him with me to Downing Street. It is not the Prime Minister's day for seeing the unemployed.
People who break their appointments in the park are horrid.
Detestable.
I'm glad you admit it. But I wish you wouldn't look so pleased about it.
I can't help it. I always look pleased when I'm with you.
Then I suppose it is my duty to remain with you?
Of course it is.
Well, my duty is a thing I never do on principle. It always depresses me, so I'm afraid I must leave you.
Please don't, Miss Mabel. I have something particular to say to you.
Is it a proposal?
Well, yes, it
say it is.
Oh, I'm so glad. That makes the second today.
The second today? What conceited arse has been impertinent enough to dare to propose to you before I had proposed to you?
Tommy Trafford, of course. It is one of Tommy's days for proposing. He always does it on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the season.
You didn't accept him, I hope.
Oh, I make it a rule to never accept Tommy. That is why he goes on proposing. Of course, as you didn't turn up this morning, I very nearly said yes. It would have been a great lesson both for him and for you. It would have taught you both better manners.
Oh, bother Tommy Trafford. Tommy is a silly little arse.
I love you, Mabel.
I know. And I think you might have mentioned it before. I'm sure I've given you heaps of opportunities.
Mabel, do be serious. Please be serious.
That is the kind of thing a man always says to a woman before he has been married to her. He never says it afterwards.
Mabel, I have told you that I love you. Can't you love me a little in return?
You silly Arthur. If you knew anything about anything which you don't, you would know that I adore you. All of London knows I adore you. It is a public scandal the way I adore you. I've been going about for the past 6 months telling the whole of society that I adore you. I wonder you consent to have anything to say to me. I have no character left at all. At least, I feel as though I have no character left at all.
Dear, you know I was awfully afraid of being refused.
But you've never been refused yet by anybody, have you, Arthur? At least, I can't imagine anyone refusing you.
And I'm a little over 30.
Dear, you look weeks younger.
How sweet of you to say so. And I think it only fair to tell you, frankly, that I am fearfully extravagant.
Well, so am I, Arthur. So we're sure to agree. I know I must go and see Gertrude.
Must you really?
Yes.
Then do tell her that I must speak to her particularly. I've been waiting here all the morning to speak to either her or Robert.
Do you mean to say you didn't come here expressly to propose to me?
No, that was a flash of genius.
You're first.
My last.
I'm delighted to hear it. Now, don't stir. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And don't fall into any temptation while I'm away.
My dear Mabel, while you are away, there are none. It makes me horribly dependent on you.
Oh, good morning, dear. Oh, how pretty you're looking. How pale you are looking, Gertrude. It is most becoming. Lord Goring. Good morning, Lord Goring.
Good morning, Lady Chiltern.
I shall be in the conservatory under the second palm tree on the left.
Second on the left?
Yes, the usual palm tree.
Lady Chiltern, I have a certain amount of good news to share with you. Last night, Mrs. Cheveley gave me up Robert's letter, and I burned it. Robert is safe.
Safe! Oh, I am so glad of that! Safe! Oh, what a wonderful friend you are to Robert, to us! Safe!
There is only one person now who could be said to be in any danger.
And who is that?
Yourself.
I? In danger? What do you mean?
Danger is too great a word. It is a word I should not have used. But
I must admit that I have a certain amount of news to share with you that may distress you, that greatly distresses me. Last night you wrote me a letter, a very beautiful, womanly letter in which you asked me for my help. Mrs. Cheveley stole that letter from my rooms.
I see no problem in this. Why should she not have the letter?
I will be quite frank, Lady Chiltern. Mrs. Cheveley puts a certain construction on that letter and proposes to send it to your husband.
Construction? What construction could she possibly... Oh! Not that! Surely not that! Oh, no! But if I, in trouble, and trusting you, and choose to come to you so that you would advise me, so that you would assist me, advise me, are there women as horrible as that? Oh, tell me everything. You must tell me everything at once. Tell me all that happened.
Mrs. Cheveley was concealed in a room adjoining my library. I thought that the person in that room was you. Robert came in quite unexpectedly. A chair or something fell in the room. He forced his way in. We had a terrible row. I still thought it was you. He left me in anger. And then Mrs. Cheveley stole a letter from my rooms. When or how, I don't know.
At what hour did this all happen?
At 10:30 last night. And now I propose that we tell Robert the whole story.
You want me to tell Robert that it wasn't Mrs. Cheveley whom you were expecting last night? That it was I, his wife, who you thought was concealed in one of your rooms at 10:30 at night? You want me to tell my husband that?
I think it better that he should know the exact truth.
I couldn't.
May I?
I couldn't.
May I do it?
No!
Lady Chiltern, believe me, you are wrong.
No. No. The letter. The letter must be intercepted. That is all. Oh, but letters arrive at every moment of the day for Robert, and his secretaries open them and give them to him, and I cannot ask for help for letters. It would be impossible. Oh, why don't you tell me what to do?
Lady Chiltern, pray be calm and answer the questions that I'm going to put to you. You said that his secretaries open his letters.
Yes.
Who is with him today? Is it Mr. Trafford?
No, Mr. Mumford, I think.
And you can trust him?
Oh, how would I know?
He would do what you asked him to.
Yes, I suppose so.
The letter was written on pink notepaper. He could recognise it without needing to read it.
Yes.
And is he in the house?
Yes, I think so.
Then I shall go and find him and let him know that a letter has been forwarded to Robert on pink paper and that at all costs it must not reach him. He is coming upstairs with a letter in hand. It has reached him already.
Oh, you have saved his life. But what have you done to mine?
I want you. I trust you. I am coming for you. Gertrude. Oh, my love. Is this true? Do you really want me and trust me? If so, it's for me to come to you, not for you to write of coming to me. Oh, Gertrude, this letter of yours makes me feel that nothing the world may do can hurt me now. You want me, Gertrude?
Yes. Yes.
You trust me, Gertrude?
Yes.
Ah, why did you not add that you loved me?
Because I loved you.
Oh, Gertrude. When Montfort passed me a letter across the table, he had opened it by mistake, I suppose, without reading what it said in the envelope, and I did not care what disgrace was in store for me. I only thought you loved me still.
There has been no disgrace, nor any public shame. Lord Goring has told me that he received the letter from Mrs. Cheveley, and that he has destroyed it.
Are you sure of this, Gertrude?
Yes, he has just told me so.
Then I am safe. Oh, what a wonderful feeling to be safe. For 2 days I have been in terror. I am finally safe now. How did Arthur destroy my letter? Tell me.
He burned it.
Oh, how I wish I'd seen that one sin burned to ashes before me. How many men now in modern life would like to see their past burned before them to white ashes? Is Arthur still here?
He is in the conservatory.
Oh, I'm so glad now I made that speech in the house last night. So glad. I made it thinking that public disgrace might be the result. But it's not been so.
No, public honour has been the result.
I think so. I fear so, almost, for although every witness against me has been destroyed, although I am safe from public detection, I suppose I should retire from public life, Gertrude?
Oh, yes, you should do so. It is your duty to do so.
There's much to surrender.
No, it will be much to gain.
And you would be happy living alone with me, somewhere abroad, perhaps on the country, away from London, away from society. You would have no regrets?
Oh, none, Robert.
And your ambition for me? Oh, you used to be ambitious for me.
I have none now, but that you and I may love each other. Besides, ambition is what led you astray. Let us not talk about ambition.
Arthur, I have to thank you for what you've done for me. I don't know how I can ever repay you.
My dear fellow, I'll tell you at once. Under the usual palm tree,
Lord Caversham!
My admirable father really has a dreadful habit of showing up at precisely the wrong moment. It is heartless of him! Very heartless!
Good morning, Lady Chiltern. Warmest congratulations, children, on your brilliant speech last night. I have just left the Prime Minister, and you are to have the vacant seat in the Cabinet.
A seat in the Cabinet?
Yes, here is the Prime Minister's letter.
A seat in the Cabinet?
Certainly, and you well deserve it too. You have got what we want so much in political life nowadays. High character, high moral tone, high principles. Everything you have not got, sir, and never will have.
I don't like principles, Father. I prefer prejudice.
Well, I'm sorry, but I cannot accept this offer, Lord Caversham. I've made up my mind to decline it.
Decline it, sir?
My intention is to retire at once from public life.
Decline a seat in the Cabinet and retire from public life? Never heard such damn nonsense in the whole course of my existence. I beg your pardon, Lady Chiltern. You shouldn't beg your pardon. Don't grin like that, sir.
No, Father.
Lady Chiltern, you are a sensible woman. The most sensible woman in London. The most sensible woman I know. Will you kindly prevent your husband from taking such a... will you kindly do that, Lady Chiltern?
Oh, but I think my husband is right in his estimate and his decision. I approve of it.
You approve of it? Good heavens!
Yes, I admire him for it. I admire him immensely for it. I have never admired him this much before. He is finer than even I could have thought him. You will go and write to the Prime Minister now, won't you? Don't hesitate, Robert.
I suppose I should go and write it at once. Such offers are not repeated. I will ask you to excuse me for a moment, Lord Caversham.
Oh, you will let me go with you, won't you?
Of course, Gertrude.
What is the matter with this family? Something wrong up here, eh? Idiocy, hereditary, I suppose. Both of them, too. Wife as well as husband. Very sad indeed. And they're not an old family. Can't understand it.
It is not idiocy, Father, I assure you.
What is it then, sir?
I believe it is what is called nowadays a high moral tone.
I hate these newfangled names. Same thing as we used to call idiocy 50 years ago. Shan't stay in this house any longer.
Oh, do stop a moment. Under the usual palm tree...
What's that?
I mean, in the conservatory, there is someone with whom you must speak.
What about, sir?
About me, Father.
Oh, not a subject on which much eloquence is possible.
No, Father, but the lady is like me. She doesn't care much for eloquence in others. She thinks it a little loud.
Oh.
Lady Chiltern.
Lord Goring.
Why are you playing Mrs. Cheveley's cards?
I do not know what you mean.
Mrs. Cheveley made an attempt to ruin your husband, either to drive him from public life or to force him to adopt a dishonourable position. From the latter tragedy, you saved him. The former you are now thrusting on him. Why should you do him the wrong that Mrs. Cheveley tried to do and failed?
Lord Goring,
What, Lady Chiltern, allow me. You wrote me a letter last night in which you said you trusted me and wanted my help. Now is the moment when you really want my help. Now is the moment when you've got to trust me, to trust in my counsel and judgment. You love Robert. Do you want to kill his love for you? What sort of existence will he have if you rob him of the fruits of his ambition? If you take from him the splendour of a great political career? If you close the doors of public life against him? If you condemn him to sterile failure, he who was made for triumph and success? The people who love us are not meant to judge us, but to forgive us when we need forgiveness. Pardon, not punishment, is their mission. Why should you scourge him with rods for a sin done in his youth, before he knew you, before he knew himself? If you can love him, and let him love you in return, you will have accomplished a great thing, a great marriage.
But it is my husband who wishes to retire. He feels it is his duty. It was him who said so first.
Rather than lose your love, Robert would do anything, wreck his whole career, as he is on the brink of doing now. He is making, for you, a terrible sacrifice. Take my advice, Lady Chiltern, and do not accept a sacrifice so great. If you do, you will live to repent it bitterly. We men and women are not made to accept such sacrifices from each other. We are not worthy of them. And besides, Robert has been punished enough.
We have both been punished. I set him up too high.
Do not for that reason set him down now too low. If he has fallen from his altar, do not thrust him into the mire. Failure to Robert would be the very mire of shame. Power is his passion. Without it, he would lose everything, even his ability to feel love. Your husband's life is at this moment in your hands. Your husband's love is in your hands. Don't mar both for him.
Here's the draft of the letter I wrote Gertrude. Shall I read it to you?
Give me that. Let me see.
What are you doing?
We men and women are not made to do such sacrifices. We are not worthy of them. This and much more I have just learned from Lord Goring. Robert, I will not spoil your life for you, nor see you spoil it for yourself, for me, and sacrifice your life in the most useless way.
Gertrude,
No. Men can forget. You will forget. And I forgive. This is how women help the world. I see that now.
Oh, my wife. My wife. Oh, Arthur, it seems I'm always to be in your debt.
Your debt is to Lady Chiltern, not to me.
I owe you much. And now tell me, what were you going to ask me just now as Lord Caversham came in?
Ah, you are your sister's guardian. I wish for your consent to my marriage with her, that is all.
Oh, I'm so glad of that! Oh, I am so glad!
I thank you, Lady Chiltern.
My sister to be your wife.
Yes.
Well, Arthur, I'm terribly sorry, but the thing is quite out of the question. I have to think of Mabel's future happiness, and her happiness will not be safe in your hands. And I cannot have her sacrificed.
Sacrifice?
Yes, utterly sacrificed. Loveless marriages are horrible, but there's one thing worse than a loveless marriage. There's a marriage which says love, but on one side only. Devotion, but on one side only. Faith, but on one side only. And in which of the two arts one is sure to be broken.
But I love Mabel. No other woman has any place in my life.
Right. If they both love each other, why should they not be married?
Arthur cannot bring Mabel the love she deserves.
What reason have you for saying that?
Do you really require me to tell you?
Certainly I do.
As you choose. When I called upon you last night, I found Mrs. Cheveley concealed within your rooms. It was between 10 and 11 o'clock at night. I do not wish to say anything more. Your relations with Mrs. Cheveley have, as I said to you last night, nothing whatsoever to do with me. I know you were engaged to be married to her before, and the fascinations he seems to have exercised over you then seems to have returned. You spoke to me last night about her as a woman pure and stainless, a woman whom you respected and honoured. And maybe so, but I cannot give Mabel into your hands. It would be wrong of me. It would be unjust to her, infamously unjust to her.
I have nothing more to say.
Robert, it was not Mrs. Cheveley whom Lord Goring expected last night.
Not Mrs. Cheveley, who was it then?
Lady Chiltern.
It was your own wife. Robert.
What?
Lord Goring told me that if I was ever in need or in trouble, I should come and see him, as he is our best and oldest friend. After that terrible scene in this room, well, I wrote to him and told him that I trusted him, and I was in need of him, and I was coming to see him and to ask for advice, and yes, that letter. I didn't go. I felt that it is from ourselves that help can come only. Pride made me think that. Mrs. Cheveley went. She stole the letter and sent it to you anonymously this morning in the hopes that you would think, oh, Robert, I cannot say what she wished you'd think. Oh.
Oh, Gertrude, had I fallen so low in your eyes that you thought even for a moment I could have doubted your goodness? Oh, Gertrude, you are to me the white image of all good things, and sin can never touch you. Oh, Arthur, you can go to Mabel, and you have my best wishes, too. Wait a moment. There's no name at the beginning of this letter. The brilliant Mrs. Cheveley does not seem to have realized that. There should be a name.
Let me write yours, for it is you who I trust and need. You and none else.
Well, really, Lady Chiltern, I think I should have my own letter back.
No, you shall have Mabel.
Well, we shall have to hope she has not changed her mind. It has been almost 20 minutes since I saw her last.
Lord Goring, I find your father's conversation much more improving than yours. I'm only going to speak to Lord Caversham in the future, and always under the usual palm tree.
What does this mean, sir? You don't mean to say that this charming, clever young lady has been so foolish as to accept you?
Certainly, Father, and Robert has been wise enough to accept a seat in the cabinet.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that, sir. I congratulate you. If the country doesn't go to the dogs or the radicals, we shall have you Prime Minister someday.
Luncheon's on the table, my lady. You'll join us for luncheon, won't you, Lord Caversham?
With pleasure. And I'll drive you down to Downing Street afterwards, Chiltern. You have a great future before you. A great future. I wish I could say the same for you, sir, but your career will have to remain entirely domestic.
I prefer it domestic, Father.
And if you don't make this young lady an ideal husband, I'll cut you off with a shilling.
An ideal husband? I don't think I should like that. It sounds like something in the next world.
What do you want him to be then, dear?
Well, he can be what he chooses to be. All I want is to be a real wife to him.
Upon my word, there is a good deal of common sense in that, isn't there, Lady Chiltern?
Robert? Oh, aren't you coming in?
Gertrude, is it love you feel for me, or is it pity, merely?
Robert. It is love I feel for you.